Oh, okay. Um, do this shit. Hmm. Do we have to worry about getting canceled? Okay. Okay. Let's see what's. Don't want to get. You don't want to get banned on Twitch, but then. Did, did, did Joe Biden forget he's president? He's on Twitter talking about how he wants to ban assault weapons. He's like complaining about how weapons are dangerous, but he's doing nothing about it. Dude, you're president, bro. You don't know how to stream on Discord.
Hello.
Typical Snyder fans.
Hello.
Typical Snyder fans.
Hello.
Typical Snyder
fans. Hello.
Typical Snyder.
Oh, hi, Rocket.
Okay, now I got Mike. Okay, so I should have Mike. Can someone say something real quick? Mike. Can someone say something real quick? Mike. Can someone say something real quick?
Welcome to
Mike.
a special comic cast.
There we go. Yeah. Comic cast. Don't know what this is. Again, there is a link. Xavier, if you want to see what I'm doing in Twitch, you can see what game I'm playing, but if you're not interested, you don't have to. So, looks like I will be doing a little bit of Ravenfield, having a little bit of fun. Oh, I am on the Raven team. I really should have fucked with this config because this is going to be a clusterfuck.
Maybe just calling this random cast would be better.
Yeah, I'll come up with something here. Not too sure what to call it because I was kind of on a spotlight. You know what? I'm gonna fuck with this config. I'm gonna see what I can do with this config. But anyways, yeah. I can't really see what's going on here on the Twitch stuff because I don't have 3 monitors, but whatever. Okay, so how is everyone doing?
I'm good.
That's great.
Movies these days are movies.
Yeah, they are movies. That is a statement.
Yeah.
Movies these days are movies. Yes, they are.
Yeah, like I watched 3 movies and I have things to say about 3 of them. What world we live in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like one of them is a really introspective movie. The other one is 300 Rise of an Empire, and then there's the weirdest rom-com I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I have things to say. You know.
Yeah.
So, which movie you want me to start on?
Whatever the fuck you want to start on, my dude.
Okay, let's start with 300 whatever, because it's like set kind of at the same time as the original. 302, whatever. Has anyone here seen it?
I have, but it's been a while. It's been a hot while since I've seen it. I think I saw it when I was a kid. Or no, not when I was a kid. I was like 13 or something.
I saw it like a few days ago.
Yeah. I remember it was an interesting movie, is what I remember of it.
To be honest, I remember it. To be honest, the parts I remember are like Cersei's origin and the fact that it looks like a cartoon and there's Ava Green in it.
Yeah.
Like, literally. It looks like a cartoon.
Right.
It should have been nominated for Best Animated Picture. Just saying.
Huh. I mean, the whole movie's live action, so I don't really know if it ever get there.
The whole movie's live action. Like, you know the amount of CGI used.
I mean, if we're gonna hold movies to that standard where the number of CGI means that it has to be, it absolutely has to be up there, Marvel should be taking home awards for Best Animated Picture with the sheer amount of fucking CGI in a Marvel movie. It is obscene. Absolutely obscene, the amount of fucking animation in a Marvel movie these days.
Yeah. Like, seriously. And I don't even think, like, most Marvel movies would probably win the Best Animated Picture category for their
Yeah.
respective years. Like, I think maybe Winter Soldier. No, I don't think Winter Soldier would be qualified. Eternals might have won Best Animated Picture hypothetically.
Right.
Eternals was
Hypothetically,
pretty damn
maybe.
good.
Where the fuck is the pistols at?
What is, like, Infinity War? I don't think it would have won. Spider-Verse is the objectively superior movie.
Yeah, it is, of course. I mean, of course it is. It's an animated movie, so yeah.
Yeah, in this hypothetical, I don't even think Infinity War was gonna win. Then for, like, Avengers Age of Ultron, maybe? Endgame, maybe? You know,
Yeah.
this hypothetical is becoming kind of weird.
It is becoming really fucking weird.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 wins Best Animated Picture in 2018. In this hypothetical.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, like, I think some Marvel movies are even better than most Disney movies that win Best Animated Feature. And, like, in 2014, Big Hero 6 won. So technically, yeah, two Marvel movies won Best Animated Feature.
Yeah.
Do I think the two of them deserve it? Big Hero 6? No. How to Train Your Dragon 2 existed. So,
Yeah, I agree with that. How to Train Your Dragon, I think, was a pretty good movie. When I saw it, I thought it was pretty good. But
yeah. The second one is probably the weakest one of the trilogy, but still amazing.
right. So I have 3 rifle categories, so let me do that.
So, other things...
What's that?
Other things... No, the other movie. The other film. The other films.
Yeah.
So there's, like... What was it like? Oh, yeah. So the other film is like this rom-com. It's about a depressed dude who lives with other depressed dudes. And they just go around doing stuff. One day they encounter non-depressed people who live in a society separated from depressed people thanks to a wall.
Yeah.
Then the depressed dudes kill one of the non-depressed dudes.
Right.
The depressed dude eats the non-depressed guy's brain and gets his memories.
What the fuck are you... This is weird. What kind of movie is this?
Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies. I have never heard or seen that. I don't know if I'm gonna be touching that movie. That sounds super fucking weird. I mean, it might have been good, but that just sounds... How is that a rom-com? What world does that consider itself a fucking rom-com?
So, the thing is, I lied for funny description. Actually, I didn't like the plot is that, but you know, you need to swap like the premise. You need to swap like one word. Like the premise makes more sense. Like fuck this or rom-com or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
Sense. Barely. Still. Rom-coms are so fucking weird these days. Where's Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything with our Lord and Savior Hugh Grant?
I have not. I don't watch rom-coms. Like, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I do not watch rom-coms.
Bro, you never seen Notting Hill?
No, as I said, I don't watch rom-coms, my dude. I just don't.
You never seen 2 Weeks Notice?
No! I literally
You
do
never
not watch.
seen
I don't
Legally
watch
Blonde?
rom-coms. What's that?
You never seen Legally Blonde?
No.
You never seen Venom Let There Be Carnage?
That's not a rom-com.
It is!
How is that a rom-com? In what world is that a rom-com?
It's a rom-com about 2 gay roommates who get tired of each other and break up to then realize that they both love each other and both need each other in their lives.
I don't think that's... What kind of drugs are you smoking, my dude?
It's the plot of the movie!
I've never seen it, so I can't say. If you say it's a rom-com, I guess it's a rom-com.
Thanks. You should have won Best Picture.
Oh. What's up? What's up, MC man?
What's going on, man?
Doing pretty good. I am on Twitch right now, streaming. I'm doing Ravenfield. I'm just like balls deep in fucking configuration files before I do this, so we've just been talking about rom-coms because Xavier's insisting that rom-coms these days are weird, and I agree with them.
Romantic comedies are odd.
Like, I don't know what people are like, why people watch rom-coms. I don't watch them. I don't have any interest in seeing them.
And then I talked
no
about
interest.
how Venom Let There Be Carnage is basically a rom-com movie.
Which I don't know about that, but he insisted is, so I haven't seen it. I have not watched...
Man, have you seen the greatest film of all time, Venom Let There Be Carnage?
I have.
Is it a rom-com?
I'm not equipped to answer this question.
He is not equipped to answer this fucking question.
Yeah. It just needs Hugh Grant!
I don't even know who Hugh Grant is. I feel
you
like...
You don't know who Hugh Grant is!
No, I don't. Does he primarily do rom-coms?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah!
Then that's why I don't know who he is!
Hugh Grant, our Lord and Savior! How do you dare disrespect him?
I just did. How dare you disrespect him? I just disrespected him.
Yeah!
Ultimate disrespect.
All new, all different disrespect.
Disrespect now!
Oh, boy. So we've been like, it's been a running gag on Comics Cast about us talking about Uncanny Avengers. Like we say, yeah, we're like, it's been in the titles of several of the episodes where it's like, we're gonna talk about Uncanny Avengers. We're gonna talk about Uncanny Avengers, and then we never talk about it. So can we like settle it for once and all and just go ahead and say, hey, Uncanny Avengers. Do we want to
Let's talk about Uncanny Avengers. Yeah, let's talk about it.
So,
it's a book with pictures.
More specifically, it is a really good book with pictures. It
is the Avengers, and they are uncanny.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. It's like
talked about the new Uncanny Avengers once. We did discuss that.
Yeah, the new Uncanny, which is like the objectively worst one, but yeah, I thought Uncanny was actually quite interesting.
The current one?
What was that?
Are you talking about the current one?
Yeah, the current one. Well, I mean, I kind of think it's not as good as the original.
The one that we're gonna get.
Why do you think it's gonna be bad?
Because I'm just like that. I don't have high expectations for anything.
I said the same thing about Dark Web. I was like, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, it's like they did Avengers. The new Avengers Forever has nothing to do with, nothing related to the old one, and it is just balls, if you ask me. But that's just
It's just whatever, yeah.
I actually have some expectations because the creative team is actually pretty good. So
yeah. Now
I
the
said the
old
same
one.
thing. Yeah, Dark Web was the one that I was like, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, and wasn't it bad? I haven't read it. I've heard mixed things about it.
I knew from afar it's gonna be bad. I was like, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be bad, and if it is bad, then yeah.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Oh wow.
Dark Web is pretty bad. It's all secondhand information, but people are like, yeah, it's really bad. But then again, that's like people's favorite word.
Yeah, people's favorite word is it's bad.
Well, that seems to be a lot of comic book fans today. They like to say things are bad. I don't like saying things are bad, but I do. I'm going to be honest with you. I liked being right in this situation. I'm like, yeah, I knew it.
I had expectations for Dark Web to be at least funny bad. Like, half of it is actually boring. A bit of it is actually pretty good. Then there's Amazing Spider-Man, that's actually really
yeah,
right.
That's it.
But as for like Uncanny Avengers, like, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for this one. Part of me wishes Slot got his wish and just would be like, oh yeah. Guess what? What? Kurt's an Avenger.
Oh yeah.
I wish like Kurt was on the team, but I hope it's gonna join at least in the next few arcs.
Right.
Yeah, there's always the possibility he might join up later. Hopefully not as the Uncanny Spider-Man, because that would be really, really weird.
It would be super fucking weird, man.
Spurrier.
I am interested in Uncanny Spider-Man.
What do you have against Cy Spurrier?
I don't have anything against him.
I don't care.
Oh wow.
About Cy Spurrier.
Do we not have any machine guns on this team?
To be honest, I genuinely just love his work. So
we don't have any machine guns on this team. I thought there was a machine gun on this team. Was there? We have Ross, Arasaka, Schwerlus, T3. No, we don't have any machine guns on this team. Oh, okay, that's interesting. All right.
I do, however, think that like I am kind of curious with the villain choices that we're gonna get.
Yeah.
With Uncanny Avengers, and because it's an X book, and it falls under Fall of X, it just seems like both Tony and Steve are going to be really involved with the X. I just thought of this today, like Invincible Iron Man and Uncanny Avengers, which good on Marvel for making Steve be part of like the other Avengers crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Sam gets to be a mainline Avenger again.
Yeah, Xavier?
No, I was just gonna say I think it's pretty cool that they're kind of addressing like they did address this like a ton of times, but they actually address like the couples that like X-Men fans have about Captain America.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What did you say?
No, the common complaint that Cap doesn't care about mutants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that complaint where it's just like, if the X-Men, like, where were the Avengers when God Loves Man Kills? That story is pretty low key.
That is a really like centric to those guys kind of book.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's kind of like how would they have any way of knowing?
Yeah, I mean they would know about the fucking Mega Reverend doing bullshit, but like what the fuck are they gonna do?
They're gonna preach kids about equality and not being racist.
Yeah.
every X-Men book ever.
Look, kids, being a racist dick is a fucking bad idea.
And being a religious racist dick is even worse.
Exactly. Don't be a religious racist dick. Also, Kitty Pryde likes to say the word that we cannot mention on stream.
Yup.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
But we can forgive that, but we can't forgive Hank Pym.
Exactly, we can't forgive Hank. Hank is unforgivable, he is untouchable. But Kitty Pryde, you know, a little 13-year-old girl running around saying racial slurs is perfectly fine. Oh.
Yeah. Fortunately, writers have just forgot this and just have, Chris Claremont was an old guy, you know?
Yeah,
whatever.
He's an old racist fogey.
The first time, you know what? Fine. The second time, I think you like saying it. The third time
it's just like that's his favorite word.
Okay, I think that's enough. You know
and he just keeps going with it.
Claremont he did reshape the X-Men, but you know we have a lot of people who like the X-Men, but they can't explain why.
Yep.
Like that sounds kind of gatekeepery, but it's not. All it is just me pointing out. Hey, what's an X-Men story you like very much? Days of Future Past.
Yeah, that sounds.
I can tell you like a couple of. Ask me that question that you just said.
No, I know you, Xavier. You're an X-Men guy. You know what I mean? But the same people who go around saying like, if you like any other Marvel character, you're racist.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell you their favorite X-Men story is Days of Future Past.
Oh, Days of Future Past is a pretty good story. Like, I could see someone saying it's their favorite.
Yeah.
Can you list any like seminal X-Men work in the past 20 years? Probably not. Not you, Xavier, but anybody else who talks like, if Iron Man's your favorite, you're racist.
Yeah, it's like any character outside of the X-Men, you're a racist for liking them. Like, how does that make me a racist?
Yeah, but that's just them being. I guess it's just subtle irony. It's just funny to them that they like going around calling people racist.
Yeah.
Which loses its gravitas after a while. If you're
it really does.
Everybody, if you're gonna call somebody a racist, it's kind of. You know?
Just maybe don't. You know. Have you considered not calling people racist?
Or if they actually have done something racist, you know, then it's appropriate. But liking Iron Man isn't racist.
Yeah. Like, there's nothing racist about liking Iron Man. But no, people insist you're a racist for liking Iron Man. It's like, no, I'm not a racist for liking Iron Man.
I think the best part about the X-Men fandom, though, is that a lot of them don't like the Krakoa era.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just waiting for it to end, is what they said. They're not even tuned in on the book, because there's nothing to really be tuned in on. They haven't been reading X-Men books for the past, I want to say, 8 years now.
I do. There's nothing to be tuned in on.
Yeah, but again, like, were you reading throughout the gold, blue, and what was it, red eras? Like, during the time, were you reading those?
Oh, yeah. There's, like, a bunch of weird eras with the X-Men. It's like... Oh.
Yeah, well, like, this...
Yeah.
We spoke about this with Kate. I remember this. This was pretty funny. We were like... The X-Men... Marvel Now was very Avengers-centric.
Yeah.
Right? And then he was just like, no, it's not. It's X-Men centric. I'd love to see where.
Yeah, it's like to me,
Well,
the X-Men are
X-Men
running around in
don't.
their own little world, doing their own little thing, completely detached from the rest of the Marvel universe.
But that's more or less the point with them. That's more or less the point with them. You know what I mean? Like, where it comes to X-Men stuff, they're supposed to be secluded because the feeling of being an outcast is supposed to be very prevalent in those books.
Yeah.
Right. But when people ask, well, where were the Avengers? In ways to be like, see, your favorites aren't as good as my favorites because they have to work alone.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. Like, shut up.
Yeah,
No,
just shut the fuck up.
But when it comes to where it concerns this new age of X-Men, like Fall of X, apparently it's gonna have something to do with the Stark Sentinels.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna have something to do with people like there's gonna be some dissension because people are aware of what Charles did in Inferno.
Right.
Which by the way, I know you haven't read Inferno, Vlad, but it is so funny because Hickman literally just flips the fucking board. He's just like, okay, you guys are having a little bit too much fun with the Krakoa era, and flips the board. It's so funny. Like apparently the
we should
ending,
really review like Hickman's. We should review Hickman's X-Men run comic.
Yeah.
We should review Busick's Avengers run.
We should. Hey, we can review it right fucking now.
Yes! Peak Avengers, guys!
Peak Avengers. I will also say Uncanny Avengers. Just going back to Uncanny Avengers, I really do like the lineup. I wonder if they're going to explain that Pietro is a mutant again because they were like, Wanda is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if they ever talked about Pietro being a mutant.
I mean, Pietro's not that important in the grand scheme of things, just saying. He's just a fast as fuck boy.
Yeah, I don't really care about him either, but I'm like, are you guys trying to say he's a mutant again, or is he still inhuman or something like that?
Yeah.
Nope. Because it's like, it seems like this is Captain America and a completely mutant squad with one other mutate.
Yeah. It's a really interesting thing to see.
So we got, let's look at the roster here. We got Cap, right? We got Steve Rogers. We got Rogue.
Yep.
Right, which is still funny. I love seeing her on the Avengers because I was like, this is where you came from.
Yeah.
You were an Avengers villain for like a issue, and then they made you an X-Men, and then you were the leader of the Avengers.
Yep.
Right.
Oh boy.
Then there's that time in Chris Claremont's X-Men era where he returned to it, and then he made her the leader of the X-Men.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Who?
Claremont made Rogue the leader of the X-Men in the early 2000s.
Oh. It was like the Extreme X-Men team?
No, it was Uncanny X-Men. It was, the lineup was like really weird. It was
the soft reboot that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rogue, we got Cap, Rogue. I'm pretty sure I saw Psylocke there.
I don't. I think she was a part of it, if I remember correctly. I just read it. Why am I not remembering?
The new Uncanny Avengers?
Yeah, or no, not the new one. No, the old one.
Oh yeah, she was never a part of it. She's the newbie.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We're gonna talk about
it looks like Cap, Psylocke, Penance, Quicksilver, Rogue, and Deadpool are a part of the Uncanny Avengers.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see Steve and Tony actually like helping out the mutant cause.
Yeah, people are gonna get really angry at that though.
Yeah, they got mad during Judgment Day because the Avengers are like, "Hey, X-Men, we're your friends," and then they were like, "What?
They're friends? No, not possible. No.
The X-Men are friendless. they're each other's friends. They don't like anybody else.
And yet the entire universe revolves around them somehow.
And yet the entire universe revolves around them somehow. Because it really doesn't. I get the joke.
I mean, I'm
they're
not wrong.
important. They're important. I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
people just say that because they really like the X-Men. But that's not to say like, you know, like they're the center of the Marvel universe. It's not people like to say
They're
it's
the center of my Marvel universe.
People like to say it's the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true.
Okay, so I think this is gonna work. Let me make sure I save this config.
But I keep asking, you know, what was a Fantastic Four related event, and people can only point Reckoning War.
Okay,
Secret
so
Wars.
They say that, but then that's really confusing because if you've read the book, it's kind of like that, but the Fantastic Four aren't very present within Secret Wars.
they're not.
They're
Listen to me textually.
They're just pretty much the event is just saying goodbye, Fantastic Four.
No one
Bye.
liked you. Wait, what? I'm just kidding.
I love the FF, but like, it's just the entire event was Hickman being like waving goodbye, and then it's just like, hey, it's a love letter to the Fantastic Four because Reed and the central focus is Reed Richards and Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah. But it's just like most of the cast that are the vehicle in the event are Avengers.
Yep.
I'd say it's more so. I feel like this book really tries to think, you know, what makes the Fantastic Four what they are. You know, it really has the effect discovered who they are from the subplot. And I feel like that's pretty.
That is pretty neat. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Xavier. I can actually take that from you because, like, I think you know what you're talking about, right? Where other people tell me it's a Fantastic Four event, I'm like, not necessarily, no, because they keep oversimplifying the book by being like, if we really think about it, right, it's just Reed and Doom talking in desolate areas, and it's just like, that's not what it is. You saw one panel and applied that to the whole event.
It'd be a pretty cool book, still.
Yeah, Doom is actually a little bit more visual in his book. He's got to manage like other super villains.
He's like the god, the super omega god.
Yeah.
Like a dude from the Year of Vows universe wants to kill everyone because he wants to become his brother's demon.
The New Year Vows is the last one in Swap book, and you can tell. Actually, no, I'm gonna be honest with you. The last Fun Dance Swap book was Venom Inc. Venom Inc. Venom Inc. and Point of Origin were really fun. Those were the last two books that I really had fun with Slot in the last 10 years. Actually, yeah, in the last 10. Because Dark Reign was like what? Dark Reign was 08, 09.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, and Dark Reign ended in 2010. So I will say Slot's Avengers is it's so much fun. People don't give Slot credit where credit's due because they're like, you ruined Spider-Man.
Of course.
I don't think he Spider-Man. Personally, you know, unpopular opinion, but I like Big Time.
I like Big Time too. I like Big Time. What was your favorite part of Big Time?
Really interesting question. I'd say the action.
I love the action, but I love the Horizon stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like the Horizon stuff was great. I love how capable it makes Peter look in the book.
Right.
To be honest, I feel like a lot of things make Peter look capable in the book, but I feel like I love the fight scenes in this book because a lot of them show how clever Peter can be. It's like really fun to see.
Ow.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the people who think Dan Slott hates Spider-Man. Have you read the book? Just asking. Like,
Some people have read it, but they still walked away from it, not really liking it, not really enjoying it, because and to be honest with you, yeah,
that's fine. Like Slott's dialogue isn't that good. I'll say that.
yeah, and the disrespect that he gives to Mary Jane is even rougher
Yeah.
in that book. Like he outright disrespects her in the book. He's just like, yeah, because
Your vows. Just asking. Was a different Slott like Dan Slott has a secret twin who's like the opposite of Dan Slott, but still can make fun books.
mm-hmm.
Huh?
I like the Scorpion stuff towards the end of it, like the Spider Slayer thing. That was fun.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Also, the first like 6 issues of the 2014 series, speaking of Dan Slott Spider-Man, I think they're pretty good. Like, maybe it's just the Humberto Ramos art.
Oh, I don't like
that.
Ramos.
I don't know. I personally do. Like, I genuinely think like 2010s to now Ramos, I personally really like. I
really like his earlier Spider-Man stuff. You know, like the Hunger.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You talk about peak. You talked about peak. You know, just my god, so good, immaculate. I'd say.
Yeah.
One of. Can I say this?
Say what?
Yeah.
One of the best Spider-Man books and the best Spider-Man versus Venom story.
Huh. I would have to check it out.
Yeah, you need to check it out. And now,
It's good. It's it's solid. I love everything that they do with Spider-Man in these books. So good.
Yeah.
But like there's some things that they do honestly that I'll be like 110% honest about. I don't really care for the whole Carly Cooper thing. Introducing new love interests has never been my thing. I will say Slott did get rid of a lot of status quo things, but he did make Peter change.
yeah.
There's no change in Spider-Man books with Wells.
There was some change in the time skip when Peter fought Ted Kaczynski.
Oh, he did? I don't know that.
Yeah, he fought like this dude with brown hair and a beard. He looked very skinny. It's Ted Kaczynski. Like, wait until he talks about how industrial society destroyed the human race or something. You know, now that I think about it, that story from like the late 2000s and like early present day, done by Wells with Bachelot's art was pretty
I will
good.
say this though, I feel like Slott said everything he did have to say with Superior.
Right.
I haven't gotten around to Superior, so I'm just waiting.
I feel like he
to
said
get it.
everything he had to. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm really excited for this new Uncanny Avengers team. I'm glad Tony and Steve are a part of
Yeah.
Krakoa. I think this might be the end of it. But
Yeah.
don't hold your breath, you know.
Oh yeah. Okay, this mod is actually really impressive how it makes World War II battles actually kind of realistic. That's cool. That's my problem with Ravenfield is if you try to do a World War II like loadout, the AI would choose automatic weapons over bolt actions, which is not realistic. This mod makes it so you can actually set what the— oh, and I just killed a friend. Hi. You can set what the AI uses, and that's really cool. Anyways.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's and then there's other things going on too. Like I heard something about
Have you seen what the because it's Gwen Stacy's 50th anniversary of dying. Have you seen what the writer for the issues was saying on Twitter? Like
what?
He said, or they've said like some announcement about it. He said that he knows a lot of fans are gonna be pissed off about what he's about to do, but he does not give a shit. It's like the gist of what he's saying.
Zeb Wells?
Yeah.
Wait, we still care about Amazing Spider-Man. Can we talk about the more important anniversary here?
Avengers.
Superman!
Oh, I'm not about that. I like Superman. But it's the Avengers
the 85th anniversary!
85th anniversary of Superman?
Yep.
It's the 85th anniversary of superheroes as we know them.
Actually, Superman wasn't the first. He's the most popular, but he's not the first. That is a lot of smoke. Just fire wildly. Yeah, he's definitely not the first. Okay, I cannot see at all.
Now I will say this. I am really like taken aback by the anniversary of the Avengers and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
the
same month. It's in September.
Yeah, it's in September. It's in the same month, the same day.
Yeah, because they came out on the same day.
With you, Marvel seems to be doing some stuff with it. They seem to be rolling out the red carpet for them. I can't remember if they did a Fantastic Four event. I don't think they did.
No.
Fantastic Four was 2 years ago.
Because life sucks. That's why.
Yeah.
And the Fantastic Four deserve a lot more than what they're given. You know?
That I'll agree with. Like Adam Driver playing Mr. Fantastic. Did you hear about that?
What?
I don't care about Mr. Fantastic castings. Unless I see an actual fan cast. You know?
Well, I get it.
Yeah, I have like some specifics of what I want from a Reed Richards fan cast. It's like a dude who can play a smart guy, and someone who has like can be questionable morally and like make morally questionable decision, but also still be like very hard for me and a charming person.
Yeah. I think so that's official. Adam Driver's officially Mr. Fantastic, or is that a fan cast?
That's a big rumor going on right now.
Oh, of course.
To be honest, I just want someone who can be a good friend to Seth Rogen. And no, I don't want him because Seth Rogen is my main fan cast for the thing, okay?
Oh, fuck, I'm dead.
So, the thing is...
Oh my god, I love ice cream.
Yeah, I can say that. But so what do you think of Seth Rogen as the thing, MCU man?
I think with that, I feel like he doesn't want to do it because he's got to. Yeah, because he's got too many projects under his belt that he has to actually attend to. And when we stop and think about it, he's too busy for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
He's got a Turtles film coming out. He's got Invincible Season 2 coming out and possibly a Season 3. He's got other projects in the works that he wants to probably really work on. I don't think he has time to be Ben Grimm.
Yeah, he really doesn't. That's what's my problem with fan casting is it's like there's like, you know, people can have their opinion on who they think is the best one. It's just it kind of goes against the actors sometimes. Some actors just don't have it. They just don't have time for it.
Yeah. Specifically, guys like Rogan doesn't have time for the thing. I don't think he has the time for it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, like, and Liev Schreiber's a little too old for the role.
Will y'all fuckers get out of my way before I shoot you in your heads? Jesus Christ.
So I'm under the impression that everybody's gotta have to be like an unknown of some sort.
Yeah, and I feel like that's better having unknowns anyways. Unknown actors always like seem to do best in these kind of things.
Always.
Yeah, I get it. If I might, no, I won't list like the reason why I want Seth Rogen.
No, you can. I'm open
they're
here.
they're pretty simple. I just think he's funny, and I think in the Mario movie, he basically played the thing.
Right.
I don't even... Yeah, like, literally. He plays like... this really funny, kind of jerk-like character with a heart of gold who's like... It's kind of funny, you know.
Okay, that was
I can see that.
fun.
I can see that. In terms of casting for the 4, I kind of feel like what you just said is really like good stuff because Rogan's a pretty good actor and he's got comedic timing. I feel like people just kind of want him because, you know, again, it's the John Krasinski thing. It's the John Krasinski effect.
I thought they wanted him because of something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting into that.
Fair. Me either.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really want to. Because
Fair.
while it is important, you know, still something that both sides of that argument can really represent a very good point.
Yeah.
However, I noticed that whenever a Fantastic Four conversation is had, it's always about the casting. It's never about the 4.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. It's about like, oh, this is who I want to play these characters. And it's just like, okay, cool. Well, what do you hope to see?
I hope to see Sue Storm based around the Roberto Aguirre Sacasa interpretation of her.
Right.
Oh, I love that version of her. From 4?
Yeah. Yeah. Also, kind of from season 1.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think 4 would have been the perfect way to introduce the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Maybe.
Kind of.
Like, here was my original Fantastic Four pitch, right? They go off into space. Well, it's not their origin, right? They talk about it, but it's never shown. They just say that they went out into space and a cosmic ray hit them.
I see.
Right. Well, cosmic storm hit them. That's all they're saying. Right?
Yeah.
But throughout the movie, right? Reed's little outburst got him suspended from several institutions. And it's a wonder he's alive, and the media dubs them the Fantastic Four. When they were hit, it was like during the Endgame fight. And then we transport them like a year or two later. And then they're just kind of like trying to live normal lives, but they have fucking superpowers. And that's like the mundane to them is no longer the mundane. It's now those are like personal struggles.
Yeah.
So Reed and Sue have to figure out how they're gonna like, you know, keep how they're gonna like live, right? How they're gonna get married. What are they gonna be doing? The main villain of the movie, though,
Mole Man. No, I'm just kidding.
it's gonna be the
like
Mad
to see
Thinker.
Mole Man.
No, it was gonna be the Mad Thinker.
Okay, the Mad Thinker is a good choice. That would be kind of cool.
It was gonna be Awesome Andy and the Mad Thinker. I might have even said the Intelligentsia at one point. Actually, like go full hog and be like, yeah, or just be like the Frightful Four.
The Frightful Four, to me, the Frightful Four would work in a Spider-Man Fantastic Four crossover.
Yeah.
Like, because Peter has fought, like, the Sandman before in the comics. Like, just introduce the Sandman as, like, a rogue in a Spider-Man movie that he takes out really quickly. Like, kind of, you know the scrapped opening sequence for scrapped Raimi Spider-Man 4?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where he's fighting like all those Spider-Man villains.
Yeah, like imagine Spider-Man 6. You have Peter, you know, hey, guys, you know, all these dudes. And then there's Sandman. You get Sandman there, you introduce him. You get, oh, there's Flint Marko in this universe. Good, cool, done. And then you have him showing up as one of the Frightful Four, and Peter and the FF have to stop him. Stop that. That's kind of my pitch. Really easy, simple.
Well,
Kind
this one kind of goes over like, well, what are they doing? You know what I mean? Like Johnny, I would be honest with you. I would go a separate way from what Johnny did in the book, and I would take from Robinson's FF and make him like a rock star. Like he's a really talented singer and whatnot. He's doing really well for himself, and he's like the superstar. And he does do like really cool things with his powers. But he's like very reckless and like he doesn't think he could get hurt. I remember when the Ultimate Universe introduced Johnny, they said he was a race car driver.
Yeah.
That shit would be pretty solid. Reed is teaching like college courses. Like he's doing lectures and shit like that because he's like a little too qualified. But the stuff that he's doing is kind of like going over everybody's head.
Right.
Right. Then there's like Sue, who is a part of. I would actually like integrate her firmly if we're gonna be like Sue has a PhD. We don't know in what. Well, let's just say she's in this universe. She went to college and she is a business major, and she's running and instead of like being a teacher in the movie, she's running like a piece of Pimtech.
Huh.
Like what we saw from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Like she gets to be part of it.
That would be interesting.
Right.
Girl boss.
Yeah. She's like a big she's not big, but you know, they're doing okay for themselves, but they're like something's missing. And Ben because of what happened, Ben isn't a firefighter. Ben actually is doing okay for himself. Right? He's not broke.
Yeah.
In fact, he'd be the opposite. But he's trying to get he's trying to work just so he can keep his mind on something else. But his appearance is always like being brought up, and I would keep the construction thing for a little bit. And then in the first part of the movie, he like loses it because he's overqualified, and he makes weeks of work go away in like seconds.
Oh wow.
You know, and then like the Mad Thinker is using some of Reed's inventions. Like Reed, I would make Reed the creator of Awesome Andy.
Oh,
Right.
that dumbass walked right in front of my bullet.
And then Awesome Andy kind of like does this really cool stuff. That's my first Fantastic Four movie. Right. Reed even has the uniforms that he's designed, just in case they ever did like all come back together.
Let's see.
I'd really like that.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
I think, and what you can say is that like they're not even washed up superheroes. They just, why they haven't been around is because nobody's ever thought of them.
Yeah. Why are these retards walking in front of my fucking machine gun?
Nobody's ever thought about them, and that's why, you know, like the Far From Homes, No Way Homes, and everything like that
Yeah.
aren't there. And technically, Reed Richards is a disgraced scientist.
Yeah, that would be interesting, kind of a different approach to it. You know, trying to show them, you know, becoming the Fantastic Four is a really interesting idea.
How they become the Fantastic Four, not that they are the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I feel like with, you know, that's what you want to do with the story, where you, like, you can either start the story with them already as a team, or you start off showing them how they became a team. To me, it's like really interesting trying to figure out how to balance that, because like you have to figure out the best option. Like, there's pros and cons to each, you know.
Yeah, and don't do the whole like stupid. Don't do the stupid. They're from the '60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that they're from the 60s thing is just, you know, I just feel like most of the people who think that just like don't really have that good of an idea of what they should do with an FF movie, and just say, oh,
Yeah.
they're from the 60s because they were created in the 60s or something.
Yeah, you see, and I agree with that, Xavier, because where it comes off to me, how it comes across is that it's just like, all right, but like, weren't the X-Men created in the 60s too? Shouldn't they be in the 60s? The Avengers were in the 60s. Don't they fit the 60s mold?
Yeah.
No, but
if you're gonna have,
yeah,
or in the 90s, you know, if
80s or 90s would work pretty well for the X-Men. I'm not gonna lie.
It would.
Like I was talking with someone about my idea for a hypothetical musical based on the Marvel Universe, because I am weird, and I just described like my idea for like what the X-Men would sing in this hypothetical is like 80s music, 80s or 90s music.
Right.
I do believe if we ever did get a if we ever do get that idea, like that's why I'm hoping Shackman avoids the whole 60s idea. I really do. I hope he just is like, we're not doing that. No.
Yeah.
I hope he flat out just doesn't do it. And that's the thing this movie's gonna have to face, is that whatever it doesn't do, right? The same people that were wanting this movie who don't understand the Fantastic Four are gonna be upset.
Yep.
To be honest, I'll just think. To be honest, the only thing I want is a good movie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, but like they kind of told on themselves when Marvel said Doom is not going to be the villain.
Oh yeah.
And Doom shouldn't be the Fantastic Four movie. in this current society, you know?
I kind of see that, but at the same time, I feel like with something like Doom, you kind of need to build them up. Especially if you try and get a Doom that's, like, now. So I feel like this is the best choice as long as they, like, play Doom into the background somehow. Like,
well, I feel like we're probably gonna get Doom and Molecule Man.
yeah.
For the Secret Wars.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying it's probably going to be Molecule Man.
Yeah. Which that would be kind of cool, seeing Molecule Man.
Some people are like, Galactus.
No, that is a big build-up. Like, Galactus should be, like, the end of a trilogy kind of thing. If you ask me.
I don't know. I feel like if we do get Galactus in the MCU, they're going to probably make it, like, Galactus eats the nexuses of multiverses.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to be like, the Galactus you're going to see in this movie is not the same Galactus, but it is, like, it's going to be weird.
It's going to be very fucking
To be honest, straight up Galactus story would work in my opinion.
Yeah.
I could see that. Like, a straight-up Galactus story would work. And I'd even take it from a first Fantastic Four movie. I'd be like, fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But they're like, you have to lead into Secret Wars. Okay, then Molecule Man. No, he's lame. He's really important to the plot.
Yeah.
Molecule Man is not lame. Like, even like, the dude is like, he likes burgers.
Yeah. Old
He likes
burger.
burgers without the cheese. Okay, he's lame, actually.
Exactly. He doesn't like fucking cheeseburgers. It's fucking lame-o.
Not that he doesn't like cheeseburgers, he likes burgers without the cheese.
No, that's lame. You have to have the cheese on the burger or else you're just a lame-o. You have no taste. You have no quality. You are a bad person.
Yeah, agreed. I was just specifying. There's nothing in canon that says that the dude doesn't like cheeseburgers, but he likes burgers without the cheese.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really feel like Molecule Man needs to be a part of this Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah. I
I
can
mean,
see that.
the coming of Galactus is a seminal moment in the Fantastic Four's history,
It is.
right?
That is
I
a
don't.
very important moment for them.
I feel like that. Yeah, because that. We could be honest, right? That shook the landscape.
It did. That was a really big moment, if you ask me, for them, and, you know, it's pretty important for those characters. In general.
Yeah, that's why Galactus gets to stick around. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like out of the '60s villains, a lot of them made it, but some of them didn't make the cut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I really
You know,
like about him.
Nobody wants to use the living brain outside of Slot and Wells.
Yeah. Right. I can see that, yeah.
I do believe that there's that with whatever they do with Fantastic Four, it's going to have to like this movie has pretty high expectations.
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
I have. Do you think it's high to expect a good adaptation of Fantastic Four comics, like a good movie?
I don't think. Again, I'm not really referring to you. I just feel like the movie is having high expectations from people who don't know what they're talking about, specifically from the fan casters, because they're like, Doom wouldn't be my first villain, but I'm gonna cast him anyway.
Yeah.
It's my. Those types of people have a very high expectation of this movie, and if it fails to meet any of them, because we do kind of have certain TikTokers to blame when it comes to mitigating expectations.
Right.
Right.
Soups? Are you talking about Soups?
We do have certain TikTokers, right, that don't know how to mitigate expectations. So when we start getting Fantastic Four conversations and stuff like that, and people come out of it where it's like, I didn't really enjoy it because it didn't follow my idea.
Yeah. This is why I don't have TikTok.
That's been happening. Lately, that's been happening with some of these projects.
Right.
Right? They're like, oh man, I wouldn't have done MODOK like that. How could you do MODOK dirty? And it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, it's fucking MODOK. In the end of the day, he's not that. I mean, he's like kind of big in like the fucking Marvel stuff, but not really. And
right.
Even then, it's like he's kind of been pushed out of AIM a little bit, if you ask me. So it's like, why do you give a fuck?
He's irrelevant. He's been irrelevant. MODOK hasn't been doing anything.
Yeah. Like, even in Unstoppable Wasp, where they made AIM the main villain, he didn't even show up in it was like some other fucking
He showed up in Donny Cates' Hulk book, and he was presumed dead, and then he shows up in Captain America and kills the Destroyer.
Oh, wow.
But it's like a sub-personality of him called MODOK, spelled MODOC.
Oh, God.
Mental organism designed only for control.
Oh, God. So they fucked around with the character a lot, too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is just dumb.
What are you all talking about?
MODOK, nobody cares about MODOK anymore.
Yeah. I like MODOK.
Notice how people were like MODOK, MCU MODOK bad. And then they gave it up because they were like,
I mean, these are the same people. Like, these are probably the same people that said the MCU version of the Wrecking Crew was bad.
yeah.
The MCU version of the Wrecking Crew is the Wrecking Crew from most of the comics.
Yeah, they just don't look the same. That's like the only fucking difference.
And they only whitewashed one of the members. I will say that's bad.
Yeah,
I agree, because Thunderball, like, I know I'm gonna sound like I am saying some stupid stuff, but like Thunderball does actually have a story tied to his ethnicity that is actually quite good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, Thunderball had some development going on in the fucking comics. Like, people forget
so when
about
people
that.
people come out, be like, oh yeah, the Wrecking Crew, they're so badass, and it's just like, you know what the most badass thing that they've done? Invade Avengers Mansion. That was the most badass thing that they've ever done.
Exactly. That's it.
And
but these are coming from the same people who are like, Avengers bad, X-Men better.
But here's this really fucking obscure villain group that's really tied to Avengers and really Avengers-centric, but, we're gonna act like we know who the fuck they are.
We want to complain.
Yep.
We want to complain about MODOK too. Well, don't, because MODOK, no one cares.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck about MODOK.
In fact, most people thought MODOK looked funny anyway.
Yeah, that's his whole thing. Like, when people are complaining about how MODOK looks, it's like, that's what he's supposed to fucking look like, you idiots.
I personally love the design. It looks like a horrible CGI abomination. That's how MODOK should look like. What did you expect?
MODOK is a big head. Oh, just take MODOK seriously.
No.
Right.
Just no. I'm not going to take him seriously. He's a giant head.
And you don't want like a really interesting drama about depression with a giant head as a main character?
Don't tell me they actually tried to do that once. That's probably something they tried to do.
They did it like once or twice. In fact, MODOK's first appearance, they treated him they treated him like he was serious, like they wanted you to be like terrified of him. But slowly, people started making fun of him.
Yeah, and it didn't help when Shark Boy and Lava Girl came out.
And they're like,
Yeah,
it looks like Shark Boy. It looks like the TV head from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Yep, as it should, because that's MODOK.
Yeah, that's what I was like. When I saw people make that a point, I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong. That's the point. That's the entire fucking point of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why people are, like, up in arms about MODOK. It's like, why are you up in arms about fucking MODOK of all characters?
I know, I don't give a shit about MODOK.
Like, he's just...
Nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
no one cares. I mean, there are people that, air quotes, care, but... You actually ask them, like, you know, why do you care? And then they're just like, because no one talks about this character or actually likes this character. It's like... So you like the character because no one really gives a fuck? Yeah.
You like him in spite of the fact that like he's obscure.
Yeah.
That's why, because it doesn't help your case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why MODOK is as well. Like, I personally think MODOK was cool in like 2 places.
Yep.
Honestly, I thought he was cool and terrifying in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and I really liked how they kind of made him serious in EMH, but even then, they kind of don't take him seriously either.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a frost giant's head on a baby's body. They will lay into him in EMH.
Yeah. That's what
they did it twice. They were like, "Nuck is stupid." That's what they were trying to say. And it's just like, but they were like, make no mistake, he's a big deal. He can mix it up with guys like Thor and the Wasp. You know?
Yeah.
That's cool. But right? You don't get a lot of MODOK.
Really funny.
He's still he's funny looking, but this guy is a threat.
An absolute threat.
And then the other one that he's kind of taken seriously is Armored Adventures.
Oh yeah, Armored Adventures.
They take him seriously, and they want. Yeah, and then they want you to take him seriously. They want you to perceive him as threatening.
Yeah.
And his character design looks really bad. Well, it's fine. It's another big head on a fucking little robot chair. It's just like he's bald.
Are you talking about Avengers Assemble?
No, we're talking about Armored Adventures.
Oh, Avengers! I remember Avengers Assemble MODOK because MODOK and the Red Skull were basically like, "We're gonna destroy the Avengers."
Yeah.
You see, that's another similar story beat that happened in the Iron Man 94, where I first met MODOK.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like where MODOK was more or less just running around, being like, I work for the Mandarin, and it's just like the MODOK I know would never work for anybody.
Yeah.
Right? Even in Assembly, he's like, I don't work for you, Strucker. I make weapons for you, but I don't work for you.
Yeah, that's the same thing like in EMH where he's like, look, our relationship is really loose. You need weapons, I provide weapons.
Give me money
even
and I
then,
make weapons.
you know, when they made the Cosmic Cube, MODOK was like, you know what? Fuck this Strucker guy, fuck the Nazi. Let's just ignore his existence.
I know, exactly. He's like, I don't work for you.
Exactly.
So in Assemble and in Iron Man, it's kind of like, those are poor depictions of like MODOK. It's the same thing when I had discussion about we had a discussion.
Hey guys! Oh, hi JP, how you doing?
You have to go? You have to go, it's okay.
Yes! I
okay, yeah.
See ya!
Alright, see you, dude. It's good talking.
See ya.
Yeah, you have a good one. But yeah, it's like that discussion that we had with like Iron Man being more popular than Robin.
Yeah.
It's just like, But when people start bringing up depictions of Robin, they're all really bad depictions of how Robin actually is.
Yeah, exactly.
With the exception of Teen Titans 03, where that was more like Robin.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't give a shit about MODOK.
No, I don't either. There's like a lot of villains that I look at in like Marvel that I go, I don't really give a fuck about. It's like Fing Fang Foom shows up, it's like, okay, the big fucking dragon showed up. That's cool, but don't really give a fuck about it.
They act like these guys are like basic Iron Man villains, and it's just like kinda, but not really.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man villains you should be paying attention to is like Crimson Dynamo.
Yeah, villains that actually have like some level of stake with Iron Man.
Crimson Dynamo is Ezekiel Stane. Obadiah Stane. Right? Ironmonger, you should be paying attention to him. You should use Madam Mask. Right? Those are villains that even living laser is a problem for Tony.
Yeah, I mean that does make sense. Living Laser kind of makes sense that he would be a threat to Tony. I mean, he's like a laser fuckboy. Of course he is.
Yeah, you see, there's supposed to be... There's Iron Man villains that are cool, even though a lot of people are like, they're just guys in suits, and it's just like, the cool ones are, yes. But
yeah, they're just Iron Man copies. They just rip off Iron Man. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, clearly you don't know shit. It's like, there are those villains, yes.
Yeah.
But he also has some villains that aren't just like copies of himself in Iron Man armors, you know? Like, he can mix it up.
Villains that, yeah, Blizzard being one.
Yep. Which I kind of found that was a little bit weird in Armored Adventure, where he kind of had like an Iron Man suit. That's kind of weird to me, but I didn't really give a shit.
Because like when you see Blizzard anywhere else, it's just like he's wearing like thin spandex.
Yeah, I think his coolest appearance was in EMH, but I am like an EMH dick rider, so...
Yeah, you and me both, because it's just like, I feel like a lot of EMH does other villains, right? Even though we'll never see a Spider-Man villain in that show.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool to see their take on some of their villains, like Spider-Man's villains would be really cool, but... It'd
be really cool, I would love to see that, some of the character designs and stuff like that.
I will say, Oh, what's up?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just quiet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would love to see more of that, but then, like... I don't know, man. I just feel like where it concerns most of Marvel's villains, like, there's a few places that does it right, like Ultimate Alliance 1, 2, and 3. Even though a lot of MUA3 is, more MCU inspired, and it's just like, I don't know why that's a bad thing.
Yeah. I don't know why either. Like,
I don't know why that's a bad thing. For the life of me, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
Product placement.
Like, not really.
You're playing a game with a Marvel character that came from Marvel Comics. Right?
Yeah, it's like based on the MCU design, but
all of it is probably shut up. You know, like that's what I want to say to him. All of it is product placement. You play Spider-Man PS4, guess what?
Product placement.
They made a fucking Spider-Man PS4 comic book. That's the same thing, right?
It is. It really is.
You know, EMH was the last time we saw the Marvel Universe as it was, right? Now a lot of people are like, well, Iron Man in the show is more of his MCU counterpart.
No.
I don't know why we all of a sudden care about Iron Man.
Yeah. Like, why do we all of a sudden care about fucking Iron Man? It's like, yeah, he's a cool character and all, but like, where the fuck did all this Iron Man dick riding come from?
Yeah, well, it's just like, it's selective Iron Man dick riding.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's just like, Tony's only cool when I think he's cool. and that's at my discretion when he's cool. And it's just like, so when is that? Well, he has drinking problems. He's a recovering alcoholic, right?
Demon in a bottle.
He's relapsed. Demon in a bottle, yeah, Demon in a bottle. The most annoying Iron Man story, because that's the only thing Iron Man's ever done in his 60 years of comic book history.
Exactly. In his 60 years of comic book history, the only thing he's known for is being an alcoholic. I'm like surprised Carol Danvers doesn't get this fucking treatment. Instead, she's just feminist.
Yep. Carol actually, even with her comic book history, there's more to say about what she's done too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I just kind of feel as though those are the last places where we got the best parts of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Though that was the last time we got to see the Marvel Universe as it really was.
Yeah.
As it should be, where it's like, it's fun and it's outside of the confines of like the MCU, so it's allowed to be whatever it wants.
Yeah. I feel like when it's outside of the confines of the MCU is like, as you said, it's really where it begins to shine. Where it's actually taking its own place, because, I mean, the MCU is cool. Don't get me wrong. The MCU is cool. It's just...
Yeah.
I feel like the MCU has its own taste. It's a lot more based towards the Ultimates, where it's grounded, and a lot of their decisions, to me, have just been kind of poor decisions. Like, I mean, I've talked about it before, but, like, how they handled Janet, I really fucking hated that. To me, that was a really dumb decision to focus on Scott Lang, and then basically make Hope, which she's based on a character that no one really fucking knows about from MC2. Like, no one really knows about the fucking Red Queen. Like, you bring that up, it's like, yeah, she's actually not an OC, she's actually based on the Red Queen. Like, who the fuck is the Red Queen? Oh, Hope Pym. Who the fuck is that? You know? It's just like, their decisions for some stuff just made no sense to me.
I mean, to play devil's advocate, as me and Alex talked about a long time ago, the whole Scott Lang thing, it makes sense from an audience perspective, because for a lot of people, he is a very relatable person. Oh, an ex-con who was put in jail for understandable and good reasons, and he wants to redeem himself to his daughter. A lot of people can relate to that. They're like, oh, that's sweet, that's relatable. I'm not saying hey can't be. I'm saying for a general audience member, they probably would lean more towards Scott Lang than they would Hank Pym.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like people like, oh, a super genius with a cool suit, Iron Man much, but it's like no, Scott Lang, he's smart, but he's nowhere near Hank Pym smart. So it's like, Hank Pym is like kind of like the guy in the chair who still does stuff. He's not just there for like, I make people laugh and I make stuff. It's like no, he's there for, he actually does he actually does help and contribute to the plans in Ant-Man 1 and even 2. So right. At least for me, I don't mind, like, I actually like Scott. I don't mind him being Ant-Man. I'm like, yeah, this is fine. I don't mind it. The whole Hope thing, I don't know, it doesn't bother me that much, but I'm not really into Ant-Man, so that's why I think with Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, they're like, let's let's combine some ideas from different comics, because they're because they're not as popular characters like Iron Man or Captain America, so we can kind of play around with them, which is like, on the one hand, yeah, I don't mind that as someone who never read their comics, but for obviously the comic people, I can see why others would complain about it.
Yeah,
like myself, where it's just like, Hank is really only in these movies because they want to remind you that Ant-Man is a legacy,
right?
But it's also the story of like, they want to tell you that Ant-Man is about second chances, right?
Yeah.
Which is something that I find very interesting about that character. Whoever is in the suit, that all of these guys are really like inherent just screw ups.
Yeah. Even like the irredeemable Ant-Man, all of them so far have had some problem. I think even apply that to Nadia. She's never taken up the Ant-Man mantle. Nadia's been through some fucking rough shit, so it's like...
With the Guardians, though, I'm going to be honest with you. You had to use the 08 ones.
Yeah.
You had to. If you use the older ones, like the ones that showed up in Guardians 2, and even then, they aren't even the highlight of what people were talking about in that movie. They're like a blink and you'll miss it Easter egg. Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, did he say Starhawk? That's crazy. Right? Where they're just making reference to the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
With the Avengers, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And this is just this might be just my bias speaking, but I still think the first 5 could have shown up more in the MCU, but not for their first appearance.
Right.
Right? They could have at least shown up somewhere, right? And have a contributing factor to something, right? And have.
Yeah, I like
Endgame
the original
would have been
Avengers lineup. To me, that's always been like peak Avengers is that original roster. But I do kind of have some breathing room. And I see where they're going with the MCU lineup. That made sense. But I just been kind of on the fence about it, you know?
Endgame would have been the time. That would have been the place.
Yeah.
To be like, in case you guys ever wondered, that here's like the first 5, where it's like a wink and a nod, like, yeah, we see you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of wish that Hank survived the snap. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I do wish Hank survived, just so like we could see him and Tony Stark like working together, also butting heads. And I'm like, oh, that'd make cute to see. Like, I don't know. I guess it's more just a me thing. I'm like, I would have personally liked to see that. Just one scene of like Hank, like Hank and Tony have like a superiority complex.
Yeah,
they're arguing for who's alpha in the fucking group.
Yeah, like I could totally see Tony being like, just saying something like, well, you know, you're smart, but you know, this is what I should do, day, Doc. And he was just like, oh, like, you know how to make quantum physics. He's like, well, I may not know how, but I could definitely learn how to do it. Maybe even oversee you. And then he goes back and forth because everyone keeps forgetting Hank can be very witty when he wants to be. So
yeah.
It's just
a lot
like,
of people
I
forget how smart
see,
Hank is.
I would love to see Hank just be like, yeah, and when was the last time you traveled to the quantum realm?
Yeah.
Here in a few weeks. Here in a few weeks is just like, right. So I'm going to take point on this mission. Not in my lab. Sorry, I brought my own. Brings his own portable, like, quantum lab with him.
Yep, he just be like, oh no, it's okay. Like, oh no, it's okay. I brought my own. Then Tony rolls his eyes like, does everything have to always involve shrinking with you? Does everything always have to involve a suit of armor with you? Touche.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of really fun fucking banter.
That shit would have been cool, man.
But yeah, and I also and I also feel like Hank could like reach an understandable point with him, like, because it's just like, you know, like, because like Hank lost his daughter, so he could so you know, like he could so he can definitely so Tony can like understand where he's coming from, because like, you know, he's like, since he has a daughter now, so Tony can at least understand where he's coming from. And like, that's what I really like about Endgame is like Tony, like, he's still a snarky, but he's not like, and because like if Hank was there and he's like, listen, I lost my daughter, Tony wouldn't be like, oh, I don't care. Tony Tony would say, listen, I understand that I have a daughter now as well, and I apologize for what's happened, but you know that, like, but I'm sorry, I just can't risk it. I don't want, like, you know, like, I don't want to make things worse or anything like that. So
yeah, because, you know,
it
would be a really different conversation if like Hank and Janet made it, right? And then they went to Tony to be like, hey, look, we have a chance. We have to access the quantum realm, and we might be able to. I've only ever dabbled in this science. I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah.
But figure it out. This will be a test run. And then they figure it out together, and then they're like, holy shit. Like, Hank, Bruce, and Tony got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I would love to see Hank and Bruce talk.
Yeah, that would be cool. Seeing Hank and Bruce talk, that would be fucking dope.
Yeah, wouldn't it have been cool if we got, like, if these were the Avengers that were left over? Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Giant Man, or Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, Hawkeye, Black Widow, War Machine, Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be dope.
Those would be. That would have been cool. Like if you still have the first 6 Avengers, just Hank and Jan are right next to them.
Yeah.
And then you can also deal with like the Wakanda shit too. Like if they just were like Black Panther, like you get the EMH lineup just with Black Widow.
Yep. That would be actually.
Yeah, oh wait, I probably should preference that like the Scott is still there because he's like basically like it's like the events of Infinity War happen or Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like he's in the quantum realm, so the snap doesn't affect him. So like, but like Hank and Janet just see Hope disappear, and then they like, get Scott out of there.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess the problem means that Endgame would be like it would fit. It wouldn't be 5 years later. It would be like just a few months later, because like I could see.
Let's say like 6 months. Yeah.
Like yeah, because I could see Hank and Janet working on it for a while before asking Tony help, but not 5 years long. It's like no, not to get their daughter back. It would not like no. It would not be 5 years later long.
Yeah, it's got to be like 6 years. Like that's not 6 years. Let's say it's like 6 months.
6 months, yeah, like
yeah, 6 months later, and then the world government is still trying to figure shit out. But then like everybody's about to throw in the towel, and then Hank actually has an idea, and he goes to the Avengers, even though he doesn't like them.
Yeah,
that would be kind of
like,
cool.
Yeah. No. Like, oh wait, no. I'll make it where Scott forces him to kind of like parallel the whole Ant-Man thing. Whenever like, oh, I have an idea. He's like, no, we are not trusting those idiots. Like, it'd be like that. He'd be like, ask the kind of people who can help. Hank will look at Scott and be like, you mean the people? Like, it's like you mean the people you stupidly help wearing my suit? Okay, it wasn't the best idea, but Cap asked me for help. I mean, we can help him out. Like, it's got me like, yeah, okay, it wasn't the best idea, but you don't say no to Captain America.
Yeah, and then you can put Hank in an Ant-Man suit and just have him be like, all right, go. You know?
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like Janet and Scott would be like, we could always go to the Avengers, but Hank is like, absolutely not. That's the reason why it took 6 months, because they'd be like, why take you so long? Like, well, if I'm gonna ask you, if you weren't for so long, why did you ask us for help earlier? I don't know, Hank. Why don't you tell them? Well, his sister's like,
I was perfecting the science, and then Tony was like, yeah, right.
Yeah, I was perfecting the science. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then the scene when, like, all of the female Avengers show up, replace that with the first 5.
Yeah, I was so surprised they didn't get. I forgot her name. I forgot her name. The freaking second in command of the Wakandan, like the the one.
Yeah, Okoye.
Like I was so surprised they didn't even like. I know she was in it a little bit during the conference call thing, but I genuinely thought they would like involve her in the plot of like, yo, do you want to save your king?
Yeah. I would still like keep the plot relatively the same. Just 6 months later, Hank and Jan are there.
Yeah,
like, you can pull them out of the quantum realm, and then you could keep like the timeline pretty linear. Now it's confusing.
Yeah, because the only issue I can think of is like it, like I'm not saying Tony's whole thing, because it would still be that obviously Pepper would be pregnant, but like he doesn't. I don't know. I feel like the only issue would be like it would lack a little bit of that just like a little tiny bit of that of that character of how Tony is now, because he's full on a dad now. This isn't like, oh, I'm getting prepared for a kid. He's like, no, I have a kid. I take care of her. We hang out. We watch movies together. She plays around in the backyard, all that stuff. So it's like I feel like that would take it away a little bit. Like, because that's the reason. Because that's something I'm thinking that would be an issue. Because I do find it very, and plus it does pay it off very well in Infinity War. It's like, oh yeah, I had this dream where like we had a daughter. It was so vivid. Her name was Morgan. All this stuff, and it's like, oh snap. Look at that! That came full circle. I'm not saying you can't do that when she's pregnant, but like it kind of hurts because like Tony wouldn't be able to even spend time with her. She he wouldn't know what type of person Morgan could even be.
But there was like a deleted scene where like Morgan and Tony like met in like the Soul Gem.
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
Just put that in there and just be like, yeah, see, Tony knows how she turns out.
Well, I mean, I guess the problem is like, at least with Thanos and Gamora, it has to be like them, where they actually were as a child, like they actually got to spend time with them. So that's what it would be like with Tony. But it's Soul Gem and magic Marvel bullcrap. So they could make it to where like, yeah, she's a little girl.
Yeah.
You can make it like
Or
that.
maybe like you can even be like Tony travels forward in time, and then he doesn't know if he makes it. He doesn't care,
Yeah.
but he sees Morgan anyway. He'd be selfish, but it's just like that's not unlike his character. So
Yeah, but you,
when he
like yeah.
complains, it's just like that's
Yeah, but-
something Tony would do.
Yeah, but then you get certain YouTubers. Not gonna say names because we're on Twitch. Don't want to say any names. But you get certain YouTubers. You know, like one of them has your name, Alex. You know, being like, "Oh, this is out of character and this is bad. I'm gonna make a whole film essay on it." It's like, okay,
Mhm.
keep them how Far From Home somehow broke you.
I fucking hate people that just for a living just shit on movies. Like that's all they do on like YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Like people actually give a fuck. I mean people do, and it's like, why do you care about these people's stupid opinions? Like does it make you feel valid?
Why do they care about the MCU when all they want to do is just crap on it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's facts.
If you're just gonna cry, then go away. Let us all do our own thing.
It's like, why is this so important to you? You hate this, so why do you act like you care about it?
Because they want to be the cool person to be like, yeah, I don't like this thing that's popular, but I want to keep watching. It's like, but why though? That doesn't make sense. Just don't watch it.
Remember somebody said it's like watching a car crash where it's just like it's so bad you can't look away.
That's not how bad it is. Like,
Yeah, no, that's not how bad. That's like people use that for like guilty pleasure movies like The Room or Birdemic. Those are like, yeah, these are so bad movies, but they're so entertaining. But when it comes to like a car crash, it's like, oh, it's so bad you can't look away. It's just like, okay, no, that's no, like. No, even the one thing that's not even the one more Birdemic, because Birdemic is just like, oh, these movies are so bad they're entertaining to watch. But if it's like, oh, it's so bad I can't help but watch, I'm just like, what type of movie you watching? That sounds freaking horrible.
yeah, like it's like those people that like Live Leak and just sit there and go, well, I like it because it's so hard not to like. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, you're horrible. You're
horrible.
Like you cannot stop watching someone get murdered. What is your problem? Seek help. I don't say this often because I'm an atheist, but you might need Jesus, okay? Just consider it.
Maybe. Just maybe.
When the atheist is telling you you need Jesus, you really need to fucking reprioritize your life.
But you know it's bad when even a Satanist is like, you need Jesus. It's like, wait, what?
Exactly, like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be saying that. Well, I'm saying that because you need it. Oh. Holy shit.
Yeah, but what you say,
I do hope that with these new Avengers movies coming out, people will kind of like relax their stance a little bit. It's because, look, we're like 2 years away from another Avengers movie. Right, we're 2 years away from. Right, people are like, well, we've had nothing but Avengers movies, and it's just like,
where was the last Avengers movie?
Yeah, because like people conflate like Marvel-related characters with Avengers for some reason. Like, even though that's not really how it works.
They kind of do that. They kind of do that with like especially like people who aren't like Eternals. They're like, that was technically an Avenger. No, be quiet. Right?
You have no idea what you're talking about if you think that Eternals is Avengers.
To be honest with you, like Shang-Chi isn't even a fucking Avengers movie. It's the Shang-Chi movie.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi is barely affiliated with the Avengers.
It's like we could get like a Daredevil movie and they say this is Avengers related. Like, no, it's fucking not.
No, Daredevil gets with that because it's Daredevil.
You know what? Next time they say that, I'm gonna ask them. Okay, so what is to you Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man No Way Home? What are those movies to you? Well, they're Spider movies. No. This is after Tony says to Peter, "All right, kid, you're an Avenger now." Yeah. So, which one is it?
Exactly. Fucking exactly. Like, that is a very good point. It's like, I I don't get people's
have
like
it
dumb
one way.
takes on shit like that. Oh, it's like people have some
You
of the
could have
dumbest
it one
fucking
way.
takes.
It was
You
weird
can have
because
it one way.
it was weird because they didn't do that beforehand. They would always say, "Oh, Iron Man 3 is an Iron Man movie." Winter Soldier and Civil War, like, okay, Winter Soldier is at least, you know, a Captain America movie. Civil War, some people do argue, is it an Avengers movie? Is it technically not? You know, it's very.
Well, what
Like-
they're trying to say is like Avengers umbrella. I hate to interrupt you,
Yeah.
JP, but Avengers, anything that falls under the Avengers umbrella, which is like Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, is Avengers, right? Ant-Man falls under the Avengers umbrella.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, for phases 1 to 3, yeah, it's very Avengers centric. Right. Super Avengers centric.
It is very Avenger-centric. For the first few movies, it is. But, you know, as of late, they kind of branch out with, like, the individual Avengers and just kind of give them their own little one-shots, I guess you can call them.
Yeah, that's why they're saying, like, WandaVision is Avengers centric, and it's just, like, technically.
Yeah, in, like, a very loose sense, it is.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Avengers centric. Yes, you can say that.
Yeah.
What if? No, stop.
Yeah, that is not. If I swear, has someone actually said that?
They say shit like this, like, what if is Avengers centric, and it's just like, no.
Yeah, like, what fucking universe?
Especially because that's the point of it, it's that it's different universes.
Everybody, I was having audio issues, but I'm here now for realsies.
Everything's under the Avengers umbrella. It's just like, no, it's not.
Just the whole MCU. The whole MCU is like fucking Avengers.
They did say Loki was Avengers centric, and it's like, it's kinda.
Well,
not really.
Loki is Avenger Prime, so of course it's Avenger centric. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna kick somebody in the fucking teeth for that. I'm gonna roll up on them.
You're
And
just
I'm
gonna like
gonna
roll
like-
up on their fucking
I
house. Just like sleeping, and then you're like, "Hey, buddy." So about Loki, what did you say about him again?
So, but you see, like,
Vlad, am I
even with
allowed
other-
to threaten someone with like actual harm on your stream? Am allowed
I
to do
wouldn't. I would avoid it. I don't want to get in
Okay.
trouble for shit like that because I know that's something like Twitch gets like real icky about.
that? I can't even say in Minecraft anymore. They'll send SWAT teams after me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I just
Cute
think that
picture.
like a lot of Avengers stuff has been taking a backseat,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are like, "Well, where's the X-Men and the Fantastic Four? You guys don't care about the Fantastic Four."
Yeah. It's like there's like a lot of licensing shit going on. They're trying. I think they have it. It's just that they're trying to deal with the rest of that shit. That's probably all it
They are-
is.
With Fantastic Four, they can do that sooner.
Yeah, I know with them that they can do it way sooner. But for like the Avengers and
that's why they're
shit,
doing
that's
it
gonna take a
sooner.
while. Or not for
Yeah.
the Avengers, for X-Men, that's gonna take a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially right now, they're probably trying to figure out the best way to handle it. So, I'm still looking forward to it because I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun, but again, it's
Yeah,
just
they want the MCU to move away from like Avengers-centric stuff.
which is like I kind of get that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, that's kind of where they started. They can keep going with that if they want. It's their fucking franchise.
And they keep saying like there's more of a Marvel universe out there, but then it's just like, well, how would you know? You only read Spider-Man.
Yeah. Get him. Fucking get him, dude. But I mean, it's true. Like, people, like, just, like, pay attention to, like, Spider-Man and shit, and they don't read outside of that. Like, how can you talk about the greater Marvel Universe when your Marvel Universe is centered around fucking Spider-Man? Like, that's literally all their, like, world is centered around is, like, Spider-Man this, Spider-Man that. Have you read the latest Spider-Man? Have you read the latest Spider-Man? Like, it's bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, isn't it so bad? That's all they care to say. It's bad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all they
but-
say. It's just this new stuff's bad.
Yeah, if Spider-Man was doing good in comics, then I at least be like, yes, I know, but at least he's doing good. Apparently, according to these people, but it's like, no, he's sucking. So why don't y'all, you know, try something different? I say, at least they're
Spider-Man is the
Batman
best
fans.
character.
At least with DC fan, if someone focuses solely on Batman, it's like, well, at least what people like Comic Legends have told me, at least it's like, hey, Batman's doing good. It's like, all right, well, hey, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I do believe that back in the day, because I was around when a lot of people were around when the MCU started.
Right.
But
yeah.
believe it or not, people were a lot more normal back during Phase 1.
That makes sense, though. Like, I understand why
Yeah, I
they'd
believe
be
it.
normal.
During Phase 1, even comic book fans were normal.
I do
Like,
think part of it is, like,
Spider-Man We're
oversaturation.
still angry. You think it's oversaturated? I can agree partially on oversaturation.
I mean, my point is, people are just upset because there's so
Partially.
much of it, and they feel like it's, like, all that they're getting is, like, something, you know, their own perception of it is kind of skewed.
Well, they're like, oh, I gotta watch. They do the whole thing about like comic books where it's just like, but there's years worth of continuity. Okay, we'll start from whatever issue you have in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of
But what
comics
if I don't
will
get
keep
it?
you updated.
It's just like with TV shows. Sometimes people don't start on episode 1. Sometimes they'll start in the middle of a fucking season, and then they'll just go back to the beginning. You
Yeah,
don't have to go from the first issue to start. You can just read a random issue. If you like it, well, there you go. If you don't
that's
like
why I
it,
hate. Yeah, but Barta, you brought up a really good point because you know that stupid meme where it's just like comic book readers start from issue 1 versus manga readers start wherever you want, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
well, that
When it
one was
actually
it said
is-
start from book 1 because the meme was just like, you could read issue 1 from 1949 or issue 1 from 2011 or read this one for the current run or and then meanwhile with manga it's like it's book 1. There you go.
Yeah.
The difference is like with manga it's usually one sole writer, and the only exception to that rule is like with Berserk, for example, where the fucking main writer and the creator literally dies and someone else takes over. But like but with comics, I can understand it's a little intimidating. I get that, and it's a little hard to get into it.
Oh, yeah, it's very
But it
intimidating
is
when you, like,
literally-
get into it.
But once you realize it is genuinely as simple as just picking up a random comic and reading it and being like, "Oh, I like this character. Let's read more of his books."
Yeah.
Like you'd be really shocked. It is that simple, and that may sound like douchey to say, but it's true. It is that simple.
I know it is that
is
simple.
that
It really is.
It is this simple because like I'm gonna be with my first issue of Marvel Comics. I'm probably a bad example of this, but my very first issue was Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 from 1963. Right, and then from there I just kind of found I could follow along. Right, and then I read Marvel Adventures Avengers, and then I read Marvel Masterworks Avengers Volume 1. Right?
Yeah.
Those were books that were easier to follow. And even then, Marvel and DC, they make it painfully obvious on what's a different universe. So when people tell me like they're confused, I kind of feel like it's a cop-out.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, it's so easy. Like, you could pick up Amazing Spider-Man issue 24 and know exactly where you're at.
Yep.
Right? They renumber it for you. Right? That's why they renumber it. And it makes more money when they renumber it, too. So it's easier to follow along. Really weird how it's just like, oh, well, where do I start? I'm so intimidated. And it's just like, yeah, it can be. Well,
Yeah.
what do you like? It's like, well, I like Thor. Okay. Read Donny Cates' Thor. What's that Thor book? Thor 2022. Oh,
Yeah.
there's an issue 1 of it. Yeah. See how easy that was?
That's what, and I mean, like, there's some characters that is hard to do that with. Like, with Janet Van Dyne, if that's your favorite character, that is something that you have to go through the fucking weeds to get good issues to actually find.
You have to be in the weeds to know certain characters. Like, for Batman, it really isn't that hard. It really is not.
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest thing for Batman. Spider-Man, you'll be a little confused here and there, but you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Depending on which it is. Like if it's Peter,
Yeah.
yeah. But if it's like Miles and Miguel, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard. And even then, you can read other Spider-Man books. Like I would typically direct people to Ultimate Spider-Man, just because.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have a better time with Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, aren't you aware that's bad, bro? That's bad, man.
You're gonna read Spider-Man for the first time. Just Ultimate Spider-Man. Go there.
Yeah.
Oh well, I like. Okay, read X-Men by Jim Lee and Chris Claremont from 1991. Start there. Or if you want to start with X-Men today and you want to be in the know, right? Start with House of X.
Yeah, that's a good place to start, from what I've heard.
Oh, right? There's places, there's resources. You can find these things. It's not hard,
Yeah.
right?
People
when
make
it comes
it hard.
to like that, and when it's like manga stuff, it's also manga's not hard to follow at all. You just gotta. You could read the first. You could pick up any one of them and be like, all right, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Right. I honestly just feel like people are just kind of afraid to read things sometimes.
Oh yeah,
They're afraid-
that is kind of believable, and it does make sense why some people would be that way. But
They'd
at the same
rather
time,
they would rather read the wiki than the book itself.
yeah, exactly. They would rather read the wiki than the book, and it's like it's not really fun reading like that way. Like you're not really getting anything out of it.
Yeah, you get more character out of the book itself. You get to sit down and see these characters for what they are. There are some incredible gatekeepers in the Spider-Man community. People who gatekeep books that they don't read in Daredevil community.
Yeah.
Daredevil Reborn. I love that. Daredevil Reborn. Never forget, bros. Daredevil Reborn.
Yeah. So okay, I don't know if you've explained this story or anything like on any sort of stream, but if anyone's like fucking watching, for context, we were talking about fucking Daredevil in this other person's like Discord server. I won't drop their name here just because I'm not shitty, but essentially we're discussing other characters because they were all like, we were trying to introduce them to other characters, and we mentioned Daredevil, and this is because the guy said, I don't know, I'm kind of partial to Daredevil. And we're talking about popular stories, and instead of saying Daredevil Born Again, you know, one of Daredevil's most well-known stories and the inspiration of Daredevil Season 3, and that's what the new show is being named after, even though they already did that story. This motherfucker, who claims to be a huge comic fan and a fan of Daredevil, because, you know, this story is like basic knowledge for fucking any Daredevil fan. Even if you don't read the comics, you know what the fuck Born Again is. You decided to call the story Daredevil Reborn. And oh my god.
I remember that. I was there too, and then you're like, could you say that again? He's like, oh yeah, Born Again. Like,
yeah, I literally chuckled. Was just like, hold on, did you just say Daredevil Reborn? It's like, oh no, I meant Daredevil Born Again. I'm like, huge. Bro told on himself.
This shit was funny.
That
Daredevil
was
Reborn.
hilarious.
Also, I want to mention before we go too far off the topic, this guy also tried saying Civil War is a bad story because it, you know, calls one more day to happen. And then immediately backpedaled because, like, everyone was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're fucking stupid. Like, he came back, he's like, I was joking. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're that guy who, I can't say the word, but whatever. You're that guy who acts like a dumbass, and then everyone calls him a dumbass, and he turns around and is like, oh, joke's on you, I was just kidding. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You were
Reminds me
not
of
kidding.
another
That was real.
that I
You just
have of you that I
realized
happen
you
to share.
were shit.
JP, that sounds like another YouTuber that I happen to share a name with.
I know,
Yes.
It happens to be another YouTuber.
You share
that
your
has-
name. You share a name with some really unsavory characters. Are you sure you're not an unsavory character?
You already know. You have to ask.
You already know I am. Let's go.
You already know.
It's like you already know.
I still know where they are though. If I ever did want to talk to them.
I got a question for you boys.
Yep.
What's up?
So, the convention I'm going to is coming along, like, next week, right?
Yeah.
Next weekend in particular. Now my beard has grown in a little bit. For the cosplay I'm doing, Postal Dude, should I actually trim up and, you know, let my goatee show, or should I keep the beard and let it grow out a bit longer?
Keep the beard and let it grow out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I do think that was pretty funny too. Was when there's just like other like Marvel stuff that like people gatekeep, but they don't necessarily like they haven't read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude,
It's even the same with DC. Like I remember I was talking to him about Justice League stories.
Dude, I was talking to my friend today about shit like this. I even told him, like, I may come off as gatekeeping, but I really hate the fucking actual unironic fake fan. Like, this is why gatekeeping's a thing, because when there is a fake fan, it's kind of, it pisses you off. Like,
it really does.
Patronizing.
because, like, yeah, I get saying fake fan to someone who unironically, yes, is a fan, but when they claim to be something, like, say they read the comics and they know the character real well, but then they say something that someone who would know the character real well, like, would never fucking say. Like, okay, Alex, so this, the guy I was telling you about, the guy who thought Iron Man made Ultron in the comics, he also told me when Lotus, right? I think this is right before Lotus got, like, all the shit came out on it. He said, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to it, though I don't really like how the fan film is focusing too much on his like personal life and all that." And I was just like, "Hold up. Did you just say that about the Spider-Man story, really?" It's like, yeah, isn't Spider-Man about saving the day? And I'm like, dude, Spider-Man, like, if I were to do an elevator pitch for like a good Spider-Man story, it is a soap opera, but like the main character is a superhero.
Yeah.
That is like essentially the basis of any good Spider-Man story. It is a fucking soap opera, but your main character is a superhero who deals with the fucking villain of the week. That is the basic elevator pitch for any good Spider-Man story.
That is.
And this motherfucker said Spider-Man's about saving the world and all that shit. I'm like, you're fucking delusional. You say you're a Spider-Man fan, but you don't know the basic fucking premise of Spider-Man, which is that.
See, here's how I would write a Spider-Man story, right? This is just an elevator pitch, right? Peter and MJ are going out on a dinner date. His entire day, he just patrolled throughout most of the day, right? He goes on a date. MJ got this reservation for a really good restaurant, really fancy. It's got some of the best food. Fucking Gordon Ramsay's in the kitchen, right? And then right across the street, there's a bank, and the Scorpion attacks the bank across the street.
Yeah.
Right? Peter has to look at his girlfriend and tell her he's sorry and has to excuse himself from dinner after they were just laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
And then after he fights the Scorpion, he's now made alert of the fact that he was actually a distraction for the Kingpin to sell drugs on the other side of town, to where now he has to deal with that. That's the Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
He got to. He missed out on. What's up?
I also want to throw this in there before I forget. He's also a huge the Raimi fan. Like, he's a huge Raimi fan. He loves those movies.
Yeah.
And like, literally, those movies have a love triangle in it. Have the basic premise of a fucking soap opera. If you remove the superhero shit, that could easily be its own soap opera.
Yep.
Like TV show. Like, and he's saying, "I'm a huge fan of the Raimi movies. I'm a huge fan of the comics." Wait a minute, Spider-Man's like a soap opera? That's kind of weird. Shut the fuck up, you fake fan. Like, that is fake fan right there. That is like fake fan mentality, and that's what pisses people off.
I mean, if you like the movies, I still like. If you like the movies but you don't read the comics, I'm like, yeah, it's a fan. I'm like, well, that's a self-designation.
The thing that pisses me off is when you say shit like that. Like, what, Spider-Man's supposed to, like, he has personal life conflicts. What, he has shit going on in his real life. And then you say, I'm a big fan of the movies and the comics, and I love the Raimi trilogy in particular, even though the whole crux of the Raimi trilogy is there is a love triangle in all three films, with Peter and MJ being Harry in 1 and 3, and then the fucking J. Jonah Jameson's son in the second movie, even though he's not really too involved with Peter. Point being, there's still a love triangle in each movie. Like, one's balancing two people. And then there's always that, like, whole, like, personal life struggle in each movie. especially in the second movie, which he claims that's his favorite, of course, because everyone fucking likes Spider-Man 2.
Joke's on you, I don't like Spider-Man. No, I'm just kidding.
That is a good movie. What'd you say?
I said joke's on you, I don't like Spider-Man.
That's literally what he basically turned around and said. Like, dude, if you look at those movies, even if you just watch those movies, you can't really say that because those movies have a soap opera premise. It's like literally here's a love triangle going on, antics ensue as well for more plot.
Yeah.
That is literally what's going on. That is the premise of every Spider-Man story, soap opera, but the main guy is a superhero and there's a villain of the week in every issue.
Yeah,
It's some sort of lingering thread going on throughout.
His life gets interrupted by his superhero wife. Right?
The initial, like...
The Avengers
I could
are
argue the first story arc of Spider-Man would be, I would say up until... I would say all the way up until If This Be My Destiny, because that's a big... Because they're always alluding to, oh, Aunt May's in poor health, then they have him do the blood transfer, which causes her to get sick. Because, you know, Peter has fucking fucked up blood, because he's fucking Spider-Man. So he has to go run this cure, and then he has that fucking epiphany at the end of the story, which calls him to lift up the thing. I'm explaining the story really badly, but you get what I mean. That's a good story arc, but that's all going on throughout that. He's talking to multiple girls, flirting with them. There's fucking, like, work struggle, school struggle. Like, everyone's saying, oh, Spider-Man's like a high school story in the early one. I would still argue it's still soap opera because you just... Even
in his high school year, he still does stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's still pretty much a soap opera. Which is why I've, like... When I talk to Vlad here about Spider-Man stories, I've recommended him pretty much most of his high school stuff.
Right.
Because his high school stuff is, like, where you get more of that, where it's just, like, he's trying to go to class, but the Sandman invaded the school. Damn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, like he's gotta go on a photo assignment to Florida, but now he's gotta fight the lizard. Shit.
Yep.
You know, like it's stuff like that. That's Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man isn't necessarily a burden on him all the time. Sometimes Spider-Man actually helps him out of some, like, really awkward or, you know, important situation.
Misconception I hate about the character. Because this mainly, I think Spider-Man 2, even though I just said I love that movie, I think Spider-Man 2 is the blame for this. Everyone thinks he hates being Spider-Man 24/7, even though the character is sometimes quoted as loving being Spider-Man. It's just like with life. Sometimes you may love a job, but then there are days where you're like, I fucking hate this job. I want to quit. Yeah. It's the same thing with Spider-Man. Sometimes the pressure gets to him and he's just like, fuck this. I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. Like, that's just how it is with Spider-Man. There are days where he loves being Spider-Man. There's days where he fucking hates it. Like, come on. Like, I feel like, because I've been seeing a lot of, like, earlier today, I was scrolling around on Instagram, and there's apparently this fan film being worked on called Spider-Man Alone. And the whole thing is about him just becoming Spider-Man, but he hates it the whole time. Like, you realize he doesn't completely hate being Spider-Man. It's kind of just it's like a job. This is why I use that comparison a lot, because it is genuinely like a job. Sometimes he'll like it, sometimes he fucking hates it and wants to quit. That's how it is. And everyone's treating it like that's the thing he hates to his life, that he's just doing it because he has to, which, while that is true, it's more... It's not like he fucking hates it constantly. He's not constantly shitting on himself, saying, I fucking hate being Spider-Man. Please fucking kill my god.
Yeah.
Like, there are times where he definitely feels like that, but that's not every single time. And, like, just looking at that, it's like, man, this fan film just wants to be a dark, gritty Spider-Man for the sake of being dark, gritty Spider-Man. Like, I feel like a lot of people, like, kind of misunderstand the character with that. And that's a huge fucking trouble in the
I agree with you on that, because it's just like Spider-Man isn't miserable. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be hijinks. It's like, that's why in the early, like, 60s, it's more fun to see Peter just, like, strip off his like clothes and get back into his Spider-Man suit and then just run over and punch the shit out of like the Rhino.
Yeah.
Why do you think Spider-Man gets compared to Flash a lot? It's not because the Flash is a fucking miserable fucking character.
Yeah, and it's just like that's the thing that people like to identify is that he's sad in this issue. The issues that he's sad in, like it's like they forget like the most monumental Spider-Man work. Spider-Man No More is about why it's important for him to be Spider-Man, and it's not exactly miserable.
I remember seeing a lot of tweets of people saying, I love it when Spider-Man's a fucking burning hothead piece of shit, and it's always like the same few panels. Like, I like it when he's like that too, but it's more of a, because it adds some more drama, but I don't think he's a miserable hothead. I just think he gets angry easily, and it's not like, even then, it's not like a crux of his character. It's not like he's constantly fucking getting angry and screaming. It's just that, it's like a fucking, what's that quote? What's that fucking quote that sounds really cringy, but it's true with like characters narratively like this.
Yeah.
He's like the nice guy, and then the moment you piss him off, it's like, oh shit, this guy fucking, this guy is he's fucked up when he's angry. Holy shit, you shouldn't fuck with him. He's a nice guy before that. Now he's fucked with him. Now he's fucking really pissed.
And he was just gonna let me off with just punching me in the face. Now he's gonna punch me in the face and web me to the wall, and then punch me in the face again.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I liked about the initial story with Sin Eater. Like Daredevil's like literally trying to talk Spider-Man down because he's pissed off because his friend died. He got killed by Sin Eater, but like Spider-Man's not having it, and he throws Daredevil out of the building. Like that's a very human moment for him. He's not angry because he's a fucking hothead. He's angry for a very reasonable reason. He's about to fucking, he just found the guy who killed his friend. He's about to fucking murder him too. But he's about to do something he regrets, and that's why Daredevil's like, yo, calm the fuck down, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, we don't know if it's Punisher. If it's Punisher, he'd be like, kill the motherfucker. Kill the motherfucker.
Like the time. So
Punisher probably still the kill. He'd be like, fuck you, this is my kill.
Yeah, exactly. He's like,
it's also
Why are you
like,
trying to do that?
it's also like when other Marvel characters show up in like Spider-Man books, they're like, he's a loner.
oh
you forget
yeah,
that?
like he shows up in the Avengers. They're like, why is he an Avenger?
You know, I was gonna join and say something really funny, but no, I was expecting someone to go like, "Oh, hey, Paragon, what's up?" And it hasn't happened yet, so I think I'm just gonna join in the conversation now.
I was waiting to finish my thought before I said hi, and then I forgot that you joined. I thought you were here the whole. I gaslit myself into thinking you were here the whole time.
But you see, here's the thing.
Yeah, when I
though,
joined, I was
like,
gonna be like, "Hey, what are you
stuff like
fuckers
that.
up to?" And then no one said hi, Paragon, so I was like, "Oh, okay."
Exactly.
see,
It's because we don't love you.
I didn't even hear you come
Scissor
in.
sticker onto my water bottle because
I didn't even hear. Yeah, I didn't even hear you come in. But like, I love it. I love it when we get more Spider-Man stories. And the thing is that like, there's this time where Aunt May's house was burned down, right? And then what happens is that Aunt May, Peter, and MJ move into Avengers Tower.
Oh
Which,
yeah.
like, her Spider-Man
No,
life actually
no,
paid off.
he can't be with the Avengers. Bad.
Bad.
His
Is
Spider-
that when he throws fucking Wolverine out the fucking window for
Yeah.
hitting Mary Jane?
Yeah,
He was
that's
already
the
in a
one.
bad mood too.
Yeah, that's the one. And you get to see that, and it's like his Spider-Man life really paid off because his family's being taken care of. And then Peter Parker becomes the lab assistant to Tony Stark. So he's making more money, right? He's actually in a better spot successfully as a superhero and as a person. Like his life kind of changed, it fixed. It was almost fixed when he was Spider-Man up until the Superhuman Registration Act, which actually ruined everything.
Yeah.
Right? It was a really, really cool move to incorporate him. And then even to be consistent with that and say what you had to say with the character.
Yep.
I really do like that era of Marvel Comics where he was an Avenger. Like, for real, straight up. No
Yeah.
ifs, ands, buts. You can't confuse the shit.
Yeah, that was, I think, the best time. I like it when he's an Avenger, because it's just so much fun to see him, you know, play off with the other team members. It's kind of cool.
Then he acts more like himself.
Yeah.
Other teams, like Fantastic Four, Avengers. He gets to be more of himself.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, I kind of like seeing Peter, kind of, being a goofball sometimes. Not like,
Yeah,
just kind of having fun with the team.
exactly. Like you see it in the giant size of figures where they're like, "Hey, Spider-Man, this is a really big deal."
Yeah.
And Peter even takes it, and he even makes the Marvel Comics makes it even a big part of why he's an Avenger, because it aligns with his morality.
Yeah.
Right. With great power comes great responsibility, and Peter has something to offer the Avengers, and they save the world.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I really like just how he like works off other characters. It's like it's kind of cool seeing characters like have their own little solo stuff, but seeing characters that have working on a team, you get a lot more of like how the character acts sometimes, a lot more of their personality. That's kind of cool.
More or less, you get more of that. Yeah, and it's even funnier because with the guys like most of the Avengers are fucking loners anyway.
Yeah.
Hawkeye, loner, right? Even though he's pretty much defined as being an Avenger.
Yep.
Right. Black Widow, loner. The Hulk, a loner. Right.
Yeah, a lot of the characters are loners.
He's only defined by the team he's on. Couldn't be Green Arrow.
Couldn't be Green. No.
Couldn't be Green
Remember,
Arrow.
I dropped it with Green Arrow. I dropped it.
I won't.
Yeah. I won't. No, yeah, that comment is more directed towards Vlad than me now.
Before I went to bed last night, I watched the fucking pilot of JLU because I was just watching JL back when I was in England, and then when I came back here, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I was doing that, and I continued doing it, and I finished it last night. Which, by the way, Starcrossed is way better than Super Frame's video. He tries to copy Starcrossed, but he forgets everything that's really good about it.
Yeah.
And I watched the pilot of JLU, and it was fucking based.
It's because he's cringe, unlike me.
Super Frame.
Anyone who thinks Green Arrow is not cool, go watch Initiation in Justice League Unlimited.
Super Frame. Mitch from Super Frame.
Bag.
The guy that has a Fantastic Four tattoo on his nipple.
No, that's Troya Boyle.
Oh, that's Troya Boyle? Oh, damn, look at all my YouTubers mixed up. There's just so many people with shitty takes. Okay,
yeah,
it's just...
That's a different fat moron with bad DC takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like let's make a
That's
black
a
Superman
different
movie,
toothpaste
but have
enthusiast.
nothing. Yeah, well, let's make a black Superman movie, but have nothing about it dealing with the fact that he's black.
Exactly.
Superman. I loved how Bardo and I were like, I'm a huge Fantastic Four super fan, but I don't have anything relating to the Fantastic Four, so I bought this Sharpie and this blue and white Hawaiian shirt, and I'm gonna draw a 4 on my titty.
Yes, in Sharpie. Like... Who the fuck does that to themselves? Like, who just sits down and says, I'm gonna draw this on my titty? Like, you're a fucking weirdo, dude.
The people that do that are the tree bark munching morons like Troy Oboyo.
Did you know we got hollered at for that? Paragon?
That was really funny. They're like, hey, that's gatekeeping. That's gatekeeping. Okay, but when you say you're like that #1 fan of something and like oh my god, and then
there's no indication that you actually like it.
It's such a dumb thing to accuse someone of gatekeeping for that I can't even. I literally can't even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see like it was just like, if you're saying that you're a super fan and you give us no indication that you are.
Well, yeah, if
and you're making a video
fan, but you don't have any like figures or like insignias or like the actual comics that you say you like. It's like, huh, that's weird.
I don't know where that came from. Right.
Pretty.
He could always have He could always have a Marvel Unlimited, right? He could always have one of those. I can buy that.
I mean,
right.
You could show a screenshot of it then.
Yeah, you could just take a screenshot of it, post it in the background, right? Instead, he went to Google, took a picture of Fantastic Four issue 1.
The fuck is going on in the background?
But you see, like, there's a big there's a big difference, with saying that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds gatekeepy, and we're not. I promise, we're not being gatekeepy. Anybody watching, but it's just like it goes a long way when you say you're a super fan, like you know these characters inside and out. But then when you get the chance to describe them, you have a hard time doing it.
Yeah. And it's like, the merchandise thing, I kind of bring this up. It's like some characters it's harder to do that with, to have stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Have merch. Yeah. Yeah, because like some people don't have the ability to go get comics, you know what I mean? Like they either have to like do it off of Unlimited, or they gotta go and like pirate, which that is what it is, but it's not bad, like I'm not gonna hate on somebody for that. But what I do have a problem with is when somebody tells me that they're a fan, but the only way they can describe the thing is that he's just a Jewish dude.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like you're doing
do you know the character? Like, have you read the character? Like, boiling a character down that way, so just no. Please don't boil characters down to that.
Yeah, it'd be really dumb. It'd be like if you just boiled Daredevil down to, well, he's Christian.
Or he's
Punisher.
Yeah.
Punisher, he kills people.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's just like a big, where it's like if they said a big point of Daredevil's character is that he's Catholic and he deals with Catholic guilt. That's why he feels so. That's why he feels so hard. I could take that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, that works for me. But if you're like, he's Catholic, so he's used to being on his knees.
Oh my god. He's Catholic, therefore he likes to be on his knees. What does he do on his knees? Suck dick.
And he's Catholic, and he's in a devil costume, so it's really ironic. And it's just like the point of this character is really bad. It's really going over some people's heads.
Yeah.
With like the thing, it's it's very sensitive territory, right? Representation for characters like him are important, yes. However, right, not a lot of people know it.
Not to me, because I fucking hate representation because I'm racist. I'm just kidding. Guys, Twitch, for reference, that was a joke. I was kidding. Don't fucking kill me.
You're not the one going to get punished here, Bardo. You're not the one who's going to get punished.
Please, can we have a wife and kids, please?
Like, I'm going to, like, log into my Twitch tomorrow, and then my fucking account's deleted, and I'm like, god damn it.
I didn't say anything bad. I just said I was racist and said, just kidding, it was a joke.
This man is trying to get me canceled.
For legal reasons and for Vlad's sake, that was a joke.
Exactly.
It was a jest.
I'm a black man.
It was a jest.
There's even like with the thing, it has to be a little. You have to be a little bit more focused in on this character if you're going to talk about it. Where it's like, what's Ben Grimm's character? He's a hero, right? I love how Superframe describes Ben Grimm too as like having a Boston accent when the guy's from New York. I love it. I love it. It's so funny.
Dude from New York sounded like fucking JFK.
It's so funny. Boston and New Yorkers talk alike. I didn't know that. To be fair, he is not American, so I can kind of forgive it.
Oh, he's not? Like, oh, wow.
I mean, I feel like non-Americans know a clear difference between Bostonian and New York.
Bostonian.
I mean, that's the word.
I think it
Bostonian.
Bostonerian?
I mean, like...
Goddamn stoners.
Like, Ben Grimm talks like he's from New York, right?
Yeah.
He talks like he's from New York, so I'm like, yeah, I could see it. Like, he clearly has the New York accent. and shit like that. But like Boston and New York, but like there's more to say about Ben Grimm's character. He's rough around the edges, no pun intended. Like,
Yeah, big rock dude that smash.
he's a big rock dude with a sense of humor, but has to come a long way with his deformity.
Yeah.
Right?
There's like a
his
lot
best
that you
friend
can
got him
say.
in this situation all because he was just backing him up. Ben Grimm's character is a really loyal friend. And one of the most coolest superheroes ever because he's a heavyweight wrestler and boxer. This guy knows how to mix it up. Like he's fought the Hulk, he's fought Colossus. He's beat guys like he's beat guys like the Super Skrull.
Yeah.
Right, this guy is cool. Like Ben
Like, he
Grimm
can
is
mix
a
it
really
up.
cool character.
Like he can mix it up with people. That's like really cool of his character. It's just
There's even one depiction of him with like a Hummer that looks like his skin.
Oh my god.
It's funny. What were you gonna say though, Vlad?
I was just gonna say, yeah, there's like a lot with his character and like a lot of cool things you can do with his character, but to just boil his character down to like a single thing, just to me that's like really dumb.
Or just his religion is unfair.
Yeah. It's
Right.
like there's a lot more to him than just his religion. I think people, when they say that, they focus in on they're like, yeah, that's an important part, but there's also all this other stuff. But the way that they phrase it, where it's like it's very important for him to be like Jewish, it's like, can we not phrase it that way? No, can we phrase it in a way that better shows that we care about a character more? Because
there's characters where that is their identity, like Sabra, that is her identity.
Yeah, but
right, there's characters like that where it's if you stop it, like Kitty Pryde is another one where it's like that's her identity.
Yeah,
right? It's a big part of who she is.
It is a very big part.
Ben Grimm is based off of Jack Kirby, and that's where it comes from. And I do agree. Yes, a movie should stop and tell you like, hey, this is Ben's characterization. This is very important for him.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't necessarily need to go out of your way just to be so heavy-handed with it. Right? Don't distract from the story. Don't have him just come in and just yell, "I'm monotheistic."
Yeah.
Don't have him just be like, "It's clobbering time and happy Hanukkah." That's fucked up.
That would be funny. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
That's fucking terrible.
It's Hanukkah time. Wait, that's not your line. That's not your line.
It's dreidel time.
It's dreidel time.
That's why I love when he describes Reed and Ben. He doesn't describe Johnny and Sue.
Yeah.
Has nothing to say. Reed is a scientist. Reed Richard, the man who is the smartest man on the face of the earth, right? Feels bad, feels guilt, because he put his friends in a very dangerous situation, and then he turns them into celebrities so that way they wouldn't get hurt. Reed Richards.
Yeah, you said smartest man. Remember, it's only smartest man because Moon Girl.
Oh yeah. Girl. Oh, let's not even go there. Oh my god.
But yeah, he's the smartest man, right? That's it. He's a scientist. That's his character, scientist. Which is I would hate to read his script on the FF. I'm going to be honest with you. I would hate reading that.
Oh yeah, that script is a mess.
Unless he's actually giving it some time and he actually did dive into the material and he's got something to show for it, where it's just yeah, I read the 60s Fantastic Four. That's so good, bro. I can't wait to see what you got up your sleeve. But instead it's just Fantastic Four issue 1, even though I'm a Fantastic Four fan. I just think Danny DeVito should play Mole Man because I have recycled takes from the internet. It's mean, I know, and we're right now we're at that part of this of your channel, Vlad, where we're just talking trash about YouTubers. But
No, that's fine. That's the point of this, so we can talk about things we otherwise normally wouldn't talk about on Comics Cast.
yeah, but it's something that I feel like this is something that I feel like this is where these misconceptions kind of like they don't necessarily come from, but they're strengthened by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're strengthened by this level of like just ignorance.
A lot
Like,
of
they
fucking
don't
ignorance
know.
is where it's coming from.
They don't know, so they're none the wiser.
Or they do
Or just
know,
like,
and they
oh,
just
thing to-
choose to, kind of like, it's like their choice to just kind of be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like I don't like the idea that the Fantastic Four come from the '60s because then they're taking they take a lot of the things with the Fantastic Four a little too literally.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they're the first family in the Marvel Universe. Yep, that means that they're the only family.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
like,
so I guess the X-Men and the Avengers aren't a family.
yeah, there's like other characters
the
in the
Avengers
Marvel Universe that
really
is a
are
family. It's not just them.
Stronger, whatever.
Yeah, like the FF don't get to be one, right? Well, no, the FF gets to be one, but everybody else in the Marvel Universe compared to them is devoid of humanity because they're not the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Right? By saying like they're the first family and then acting like they're the only one, what separates the Fantastic Four and the Avengers is that the FF are a family. And it's just like, does that mean that the Avengers aren't a family?
Yeah.
Yes. They're co-workers.
I mean, like, look at
are you
Cap.
talking
Cap
about?
fucking thinks, as far as my kind of headcanon is, Cap thinks that the Avengers are his only family.
Yep.
That's the only
What?
family he
Tony-
has left.
Tony acts like the Avengers are his family. Right?
Yeah.
Janet treats the Avengers like family.
Yep.
Founding members of the Avengers act like it's a family. Right?
It's like, they are definitely in that situation
Well,
where,
they have-
like, everything is, like
They're coworkers.
that.
Just like name a coworker you've had to live with. Right? The Avengers, they have to live with one another.
Yeah, exactly.
They live with each other, they eat with one another, they hang out with one another. It's a little bit more overt, right? Yeah, exactly. Right? There's more to say about their relationship in comparison to the Fantastic Four, but the Fantastic Four will like I'm convinced they don't think that there have been any other Fantastic Four rosters either.
Yeah.
Like other members, other
Someone
people have.
when I said the sex one.
I mean,
I
yeah,
said
at the
exactly.
same time, though, it's like, I also don't think it's as iconic as the original, though. You know?
Yeah.
That's
What
just
do you
how
mean?
I feel. Like, you ask random people who are the Fantastic Four, who's been on the team, you're not going to get people that are going to, like, bring up the other, like, people that have been a part of it. They're
not
gonna
gonna
bring
bring
up
up-
the
they're not gonna
basic
bring
four.
up- They're not going to bring up
It's
that
like
one time
asking
when She-Hulk
people
showed
who-
up.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, like what's his real name? 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get someone who says Miles Morales. You're going to get someone who says Peter Parker. He's just the more iconic one. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the yeah, exactly. You're not going to get people saying Scott Lang. You're not going to get people saying like, oh, he's been a member of the Fantastic Four. You're not going to get people saying shit like Hulk or like Wolverine, Ghost
She-Hulk.
Rider.
She-Hulk,
She-Hulk.
Fantastic Four. That was right after Secret Wars.
Yep.
Yep. They're not going to say that. They're going to be like, Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben.
Which, to be fair, like I said, it's not really a big deal. Like I said, it's the equivalent of like getting mad at someone for saying Peter Parker is Spider-Man over Miles Morales. It's just like, well, that's just the more iconic one.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we're really gonna stop and think about it, you're gonna name off the ones that have been. But I'm beginning to think like, because they're like, well, the Avengers changed rosters, and so have the Fantastic Four. Like, Reed and Sue, they left the Fantastic Four and they left it in Ben Grimm's hands, and then Reed went off to be an Avenger.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy my vacation as an Avenger. Don't worry about me.
Exactly.
There's the new Fantastic Four consisting of Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and the Hulk. Right? Even Luke Cage was a member of the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Isn't-
I'm not. Oh, what's up?
Dude, even I was a member of the Fantastic Four, but no one talks about that. And it kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, Bardo. Bardo was a member of the FF.
Oh, you were?
And
Were
then,
you
like-
what were you what was your like one descriptive trait? You know, what describes you as a character? You know, Ben Grimm is
He had
Jewish.
BDE.
You know,
He was
Rita
psychotic
Smart.
converter.
What is yours? What is yours?
He had BDE.
Raging fucking sociopath. That was my. That was my.
They had the fucking Punisher on the... Look, we're here to do science. I'm here to kill
No, I'm
motherfuckers.
discount Punisher. I'm like fucking. I'm funny.
There's a
That-
Punisher. There's like a what if book where it's like, what if like the Punisher became Captain America? It's actually really cool.
Yeah,
What if the
what if he
Punisher-
became Captain America and he's just like beating people in with his fucking shield like motherfucking Nazis?
It's like it's a universe where Steve Rogers stayed dead,
Oh wow.
and then
That's
it was
actually
like
a really interesting concept. Not
yeah,
gonna lie.
Tony Reed, the Illuminati give him like a version of the super soldier serum, and then they hook it up. They make him one of the. They make him one of the. They make him the new Captain America.
That's just a really
And it's
dumb
like-
idea. Why would you make that Captain America? Oh, because he likes guns.
No,
'Cause
he
he's a
actually
soldier.
he actually is super cool about the entire thing. Like he gets to be his childhood idol.
Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah, fucking Frank really respects Captain America.
Yeah, that is true. I remember seeing that in I think one of the books. That's the one he like respected.
I mean, it's to the point where in Civil War he refused to fucking fight him. And like Captain America's just beating the shit out of him. Punisher's like, I'm not gonna fight you. You're my childhood hero.
Yeah, he's like, I'd rather take the beating.
Yeah, he gets to go home and go, I got my ass kicked by Captain America!
Yeah, as he's fanboying out, he's like, Steve pushed my shit in.
He
It's
beat
totally
the fuck
Steve.
out of me, he broke my arm, my collarbone, I'm like half dead.
He broke my arm. Captain America broke my arm. I'm never healing this arm again.
Exactly, he just keeps fucking breaking his arm. Oh god, he just keeps breaking his fucking arm. The doctor's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because Captain America broke my arm!
It just goes to like a super Marvel science doctor and just has his bones surgically removed and replaced just so he can keep the bone that got broken.
Holy
Puts it on
shit.
display.
Just like,
Oh, I think we're gonna get some very angry Punisher
and
fans.
it's really cool.
Just has his fucking bone on display showing someone. I don't know.
Yeah,
why
someone
he would do
comes
that,
over
but
to his house,
whatever.
just like fucking Daredevil comes over, and then he's like, "Look at this! You see this? Like,
It's,
why do you
it's
have?"
the bone that got broken by Captain America, and Punisher literally just turns into Markiplier playing West of Loathing. He just goes, "That's fucking gross."
Exactly. Daredevil looks at him and is like, "I'm blind, and this is gross."
There's only like very few heroes that Frank has like respect for. There's very
Oh.
few that he has respect for, and it's really cool when you actually get to see the Punisher talk about his time with other superheroes, and it's a really nice thing that he does.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh shit!
Oh, what's up?
It's funny because like there's some really good shit with that, but you know, the X-Men are the epicenter of the Marvel universe, guys. Might be.
Yeah, and Moon Girl's the smartest character in the Marvel universe.
And Cassandra Cain's the best fighter in DC.
Exactly. It's like,
What it takes.
listen, listen.
And the X-Men are more important than the Avengers.
Alex already said that. Listen,
Let's go.
she'll-
Let's go. But let's go back to
She'll
that.
judo throw Wonder Woman. the
let's
best
go back to
melee
what?
fighter
We
in the
listened to like
universe.
5 different things here.
We're gonna start with the first argument, right?
What, Moon Girl? We're gonna start there?
We're gonna start with Moon Girl.
Moon Girl's fat.
Because JP, I'm gonna be honest with you, he did sour Stargirl for me. I'm like, now I'm not watching it.
Exactly.
Moon Girl, we just saw the Childish Gambino episode. That shit was fire.
I told you, right? Like that's why I'm so mad at him because he ruined. Because I feel like with someone like I feel like he's ruined some of these shows for y'all because it's like like Moon Girl is the only good Marvel animated show out of recent memory. Like of recency, it's the only one that's actually good. But now he's ruined it for y'all because like when you think Moon Girl, this show is pretty good, you're thinking back ahead. Some dumb idiot said, listen, Reed Richards is cool and all, but like Moon Girl is smarter. So okay.
That just irks me so much. A character that we've had so much development with, so much accomplishment, so much achievement, and then some fucking token character they introduced in like 2015 takes the mantle. Like, that's not how this works. And then they're like showing her do all this stuff in her book. It's like, that's not how this works. Again, yeah, you're showing her do cool, neat science stuff, but it's like, none of it is of like consequence. Nothing. It has no impact on the greater Marvel universe. Why are you like this? It's like, she insists that she's the smartest. It's like, no, you're not. There are characters way smarter than you. A lot of characters that are way smarter than you.
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember you being invited to Judgment Day anywhere. I didn't see you there.
Exactly.
Could just be my imagination, though.
It might be.
Stargirl, though, I think it's funnier because it's just like... I think Stargirl's funnier because it's like, JP knows I don't like the Justice Society.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know what's interesting about them.
I mean, I'll give you this. You don't say the show is bad, because you've never seen it. I will give you credit. Unlike certain people, not gonna name names because we're being recorded, but certain people do that. I know one of them, but it is what it is. It's whatever.
Yeah.
No, not him. Someone else.
Joe.
It was Joe.
Mama. Joe Mama. You fell for it, you fucking loser.
Oh my god. What the fuck was that?
I know he fought for it 'cause I saw it coming a mile away, but you know.
JP falling for the oldest fucking joke in the book.
I didn't fall for it. I knew you were gonna do. I just didn't
No,
care.
you fell for it. It's canon. You fell for it.
It's canon.
No.
Fucking MCU crew lore, it's canon.
Civil War. No, he didn't fall for it.
Oh, great. Now we have two different sides. Did he get Joe Bob or did... Oh my god. How did this happen? We were just talking about Moon Girl. What the fuck?
That's what happens when you bring idiots to the idiot farm.
Hey, we were calling an idiot dumbass. I was about to call him dumb.
He was gonna say the N word.
He was gonna get me fucking canceled off of Twitch.
Yeah, that would get you banned off Twitch, so I won't say it.
I mean, Alex say because we're black, or does that not, or like no?
No,
I wasn't gonna call you. We're just gonna call you the R word.
Wow, they don't care. They're just like, well, you're black, but no, you can't say it. Okay.
They're on some, you know what? I'm not gonna say their name.
Cade?
I won't do it. No, I won't say their
Barter
name.
does not care. Barter is just like, I will
just assume everything is gay.
Yeah, it's like Barter does not care. I was like,
didn't he say about the same shit?
I don't think he did.
Bardo, quit spamming.
Quit spamming.
Quit spamming, Bardo.
Oh.
No, the other thing that the Avengers being more important than the X-Men, that shit is always funny. That shit is always funny to me because like I even flat out pointed it out. It's like, hey, you know, everybody can be an Avenger. It's pretty inclusive.
Yeah. But the Avengers, they hate X-Men. Like, shut the fuck up. What are you
I
talking
pointed out
about?
something.
Are you sure we're not talking about Cade? Because Cade said the same shit about the X-Men.
That one is, yeah.
Yeah,
but
this
not
time
the-
we are, but I've heard
That
other
one is,
people
yeah, but
on
not
Twitter
the-
say that before. I've heard people on Twitter say that. Outside
That
of
one is,
Cade.
yeah,
Well,
but not.
Twitter
Because,
say
well,
this.
that's because Cade fucking, gets all of his twigs from Twitter.
Ooh.
He doesn't have an original thought in his fucking body, in his brain, his fucking little pea-sized brain.
Unless it's about
Does use-
wrestling. Unless it's about wrestling. Jesus, he can go on about wrestling. Oh my god. I'll give him credit on that.
Him to death.
Okay,
like a fucking-
yeah, exactly. I heard, I got it too. But then when we go in on, like, we didn't even say anything about fire. That was so funny.
That was
We
the
didn't say
funniest
anything.
shit, man. I was just
We didn't
pointing
say
out.
anything.
I was pointing out this
Yep.
guy. I was just like this. It's like Doomsday or whatever the fuck he's called, beating the shit out of the Justice League, and apparently it's called Fire is what the character is called. But I just see some chick in in an outfit where it's like her titties are about to fall out, and I'm just kind of like, she needs a new costume because her boobs are gonna fall out. And then he's like, "Why are you making fun of Fire? She's such a good character." And I'm just kind of like,
You know what's funny? You know what's funny?
The same guy
Yes.
that complained about Catwoman having her zipper down. In
I was
Arkham
about to
City.
say that, Paragon. Literally the same guy got mad at Arkham City
Same
for having the
motherfucker.
same.
I even pointed out to him that Alex Lee has made funny characters that I like outfits. He'd be like, "Oh, look at Dante being stupid, wearing a red jacket and being with no shirt on. You look dumb. Look at Delta just like a hipster, want to dress so cool for no reason." But I'm like, "You still like these characters though, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I still do." It's like, "Oh well, it's like you make fun of their attire and still like the character. That's crazy."
The same
No.
dude that says the ninjas in Arkham City are sexualized because you see their arms is okay with that.
By the way, I didn't even say.
He also
anything about
posts
her costume.
porn on his fucking Reddit. By the way, he posts actual porn on his Reddit.
By the way,
These
I didn't even say
characters.
anything about her costume. I just said that she's supposedly iconic. That was
Yeah.
a jab at him. That was a
Bro turned
was-
into fucking what's his name?
Inexperia.
Fucking
Inexperia.
something. Yeah. I forgot his name for a second.
Yeah,
Hidden Xperia.
iconic is the meme on his channel, Hidden Xperia.
Because
Yeah, it's like-
He ruined the
it
word.
literally came out of
Yeah,
nowhere,
there
and
was
then
a
he's
video- there was
defending
a
the
video years
costume.
ago where he said it way too many times and he didn't realize it until he already posted the video, and now he just memes himself about it. It's really funny.
Yeah, what's weird is he like brings up other characters being sexualized, and then it's like I bring up this, and then he's defending it because she's like a Brazilian dancer or something like that, and it's like,
But, hold on, you weren't okay with Copperhead.
yeah,
even though
you're not
Copperhead
okay
is
with
like
it
a weird
here,
jungle
but all of a
lady.
sudden, fucking Catwoman has the zipper down. No, this is too sexual.
You're not okay with Copperhead, even though she's like a weird jungle
said-
lady that would keep down on clothing and she has like the makeup and stuff. But you're okay with Fire because she's Brazilian. That's just fucking racist.
He also tried to say Copperhead should have been the one from the comics because it's more accurate. I'm like, they literally say the Copperhead that was a male is like.
Imagine
In
Bardo.
canon.
Bardo. Who cares if they say that he's in canon or whether or not like she killed him or whatever? Imagine if you have this really like serious Arkham Origins. It's like a very serious game with a very grounded aesthetic, and you're trying to make this fit into the other Arkham games, and then you just have this fucking dope in a snake costume show up.
yeah.
It'd be so, it'd be
Yeah,
so out of
exactly.
place. It would
I mean,
be
I'm
so
just trying
out
to
of
give him the
place.
benefit of the doubt. Like, listen, he wants that. Like, they literally say in the game, there's the implication that he did exist. She just probably killed him.
Yeah, he is implied to exist. It's implied that she killed the other Copperhead.
So
Did you know
But, like, I
people
didn't
have
even-
taken that? Did you know people have taken that and tried to use evidence for why Copperhead is trans in Arkham Origins?
What?
Yeah, they say that. Oh yeah, because Batman is like, I remember there being a male one. People
Yeah.
use that to assume that Copperhead is trans when it's like, what? It would
Be
still
careful
be-
with
it'd
that
still
word.
be the same human-
Be careful with that
It'll
word because
still
this is
be the-
going on YouTube. That word has got people in trouble. So
The word trans, really?
yes.
Okay.
yeah.
I'd
That's
like to
fucked
clarify-
up. YouTube, you're fucked up and transphobic for doing
YouTube, YouTube, I'd like to clarify. I like trans people. They're cool. My last two romantic interests were trans. Trans people are epic. But anyway, yeah, people assume that Copperhead is trans because Batman went. I remember Copperhead being a male.
It's all I did.
Even
too.
though
All
it would
I
be the
said
same
was-
person, it would just be the person but a different gender. They would still have the same DNA. So
Yeah.
obviously it would still be the same person. Batman would just go, oh, they switched genders. But
But
no, it's
that's
because,
all-
it's
I
because
mean-
the Copperhead in Origins is a different Copperhead.
I didn't even say anything about her costume. I just said that she's not iconic. Like, Fire is not iconic. And then he tried to argue who was more popular, Hank Pym or Fire, and I was like, definitely Hank Pym.
Oh my god, like, imagine a
Fire.
universe where some dumbass is like, Fire is more popular. It's like, brother, calm down.
Sadly, we live in that universe, and we have one person to look
Fire.
at.
The only character I can think of is that one chick in JLU, that fucking Flash.
That's her. That's
Yeah,
her.
that's
Wait,
literally her.
Wait, but I thought we were
That's
talking about Marvel.
No, we're talking about
No.
we're talking about Justice League.
You're talking about Fire? You're talking about Fire? That's who that is.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, so I was right, that is who that is. Yeah, the character.
Yeah, let me get a
that's only
screenshot
known-
for you. Let me get it. This was amazing yesterday. Oh my god.
I think I remember the panel that you're talking about, and I remember what she looks like in the show. But yeah, who's more iconic, Hank Pym or the character that's only known because Wally West thinks she's hot?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit you. Yeah, this is Fire. That's Fire. I just brought up how her fucking titties are gonna fall out of that costume. I also said
I would suck on
Looks
them.
dumb.
And yeah, I didn't even say anything about her costume, and then it revolved, and it's like, well, you're saying she sucks, and I'm like, that's not what I said.
yeah,
I don't-
I'm the one who jokingly
Personally,
said
if you
that
had
she
to ask
sucks.
me, if you had to ask
if
me,
her looks are anything to go by, then yeah, she sucks. She looks like
If you-
garbage.
yeah, if you had to
Yo.
ask me what I thought of Fire, I probably would have told you, irrelevant. I don't care.
Because she is. What is she known for? Wally West thinking she's hot in a TV show where she does nothing.
Exactly. Also, the fucking, way too much green, okay? Like, I would not be surprised if her nipples are green, I'm just saying.
Well, she was voiced by the same woman who voiced her in, who voiced Hawkwoman
Oh, wow.
or Hawkgirl.
Really?
Yeah, they're voiced by the same voice actress.
That is interesting. By the way, I'd like to point out, near the end of Justice League, it was right before. I think it was actually the two-parter right before Starcrossed. They had this big moment about Hawkgirl taking off her helmet in front of John, and I went, "Oh yeah, she never took off her helmet." It didn't even occur to me.
I will
This
be
is really
honest
funny.
with you. I think it's so funny that, like, I just said this iconic Justice League member, which is just like, if you stop and think about it, a lot of Justice Leaguers aren't very popular.
Most Justice
Yeah.
League are very
Outside-
popular. That's literally the point of Justice League Unlimited as a TV show. It's just everyone that's not the 7 that people actually care about. Yeah, they're the Justice League Unlimited. We'll give
Yeah.
episodes to them, like how the first one is about Green Arrow, Supergirl, and Captain Atom. Because no one
They
cares
give
about them
episodes to the
otherwise.
fucking Question.
I remember that.
That's why a lot of people know the Question, because he's a big character in JLU and he's really cool.
Who cares about Fire? Fire didn't have an episode.
Fire is a background character, and again, the only notable thing she does, to my knowledge, is Wally West thinks she's hot.
That's it.
Also,
That's
her
it.
design in the show is better than the one that you showed me, Vlad.
What in Justice League? What
Yep.
does she even look like in Justice League Unlimited?
She wears like a green corset and green leather pants. I'll find a picture.
I can look it up.
She's copperhead but green.
Oh yeah. Huh.
I even pointed out, like, but yeah,
I mean, she's not showing. It doesn't look like her fucking titties are gonna fall out. So this is a bad costume. Poorly done.
Just in case, I'll message it. That's what she looks like. She's wearing like green pants with a weird raven belt and a small like green corset top thingy.
yeah, because like
I
it was
mean-
so funny.
And a bandana.
I don't know. Her titties aren't gonna fall out, so this is not a good costume. I wanna have an accidental titty poke out.
Her name is Beatrice de Costa.
Yep.
And that's what she looks like when she's on fire.
Oh god. I like how the fire conveniently
I
covers
know.
up her fucking titties and fucking vagina. It's so convenient.
Listen, it's magic. Shut up.
That is so convenient.
It's magic, okay?
Can we get like the Bruce Timm version of this where her nipples are poking through the fire? Can we get that?
The Bruce Timm version.
God, he's a horny fucking motherfucker. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
and you've got another bad point. All I said is she is iconic, meaning in some
Speaking of
circles.
horny, I found
but
this really cool
LOL,
art of her.
not most. Iconic Marvel character Hank Pym, yes. That's a bad point, because if we had to gauge popularity, Hank is more popular than Fire. Yes.
Definitively.
Yes.
Definitively. There isn't, you can't confuse it.
Exactly. Like, how can you confuse? How are you this dumb?
I actually
can't
didn't
confuse the
even
two.
know this character had a name. I just thought she was a gag character in JLU.
Exactly.
You can't confuse it. As for, like, I do love how I pointed out that, like, everybody, like, any ethnicity, most people in the Marvel Universe typically are associated with the Avengers.
Yeah.
Even mutants who have nothing to do with the X-Men are associated with the Avengers. Right. Mutates, humans, any sort of ethnicity has joined the Avengers, even synthezoids and mutants and shit like that. All of
I mean,
them.
like, we've had, what, 2 or
Brilliant.
3 Red Room Assassins join in?
Yeah, Red Room Assassins have joined them. You've had synthezoids, like
Aliens.
aliens, even like
People from the
fucking
future.
Like, did
people
we
from the
have, like,
future.
a
Deadpool was an
cosmic being
Avenger.
joined? What the fuck were they? They're like the
Cosmic-
Apocalypse Twins or whatever, one of them, or...
No, the Apocalypse Twins never joined, but they do have other people who, like, mutates are
Yeah,
very
no, who
prevalent
was
with
it?
the
There's that
Avengers.
one... Oh, God. You showed it to me. I can't remember it. I'll have to look
Well, I
it
was
up.
just saying, or all I was, and then we point out to him, right? Like, hey, there's actually, he tries to say, like, the racial divide in Avengers is more bureaucratic than it is personal, and it's just like, no, not necessarily.
Exactly.
And then I give him an example.
Too, like a Chad.
So then we're talking about it, and it's so funny. I just flat out said, like, I gave him an example where, like, Quicksilver didn't much like the Vision because the Vision wasn't a person.
Yeah.
And Cade was all he did was just say, like, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's hypocritical. This is a really bad story. And it's just like, yeah, but that's not my point. What I'm talking about is it has everything to do with the fact that it's the opposite of what you said. It's more personal. Right?
I mean, this is the same guy, though.
Quicksilver was ready to disown his sister because she was going to marry a robot man.
Yeah.
Racism.
I mean, this is the same guy, too, though, that said the Busick run was bad because of Janet making, like, saying that it's a little bit her fault for what happened with the slap. You know, this is that same guy.
She, she doesn't even apologize for the slap. She's more like, I did have something to do with his nervous breakdown.
Yeah, it's like, uh-oh, we can't have that! That's not very cash money of Janet.
That's not epic.
It's not epic, yeah, exactly. That's not epic, Kurt Busick. I don't like your writing anymore because of that, Busick. It's like, no, I just think you don't like Busick. Or you just don't want to read this shit because it's just too complicated for you. So dumb. Oh. But... Oh, it's like, there's a lot of stuff. With like, I mean, there's like people on Twitter that are like that too. That don't like the Busick stuff because, for whatever fucking reason, they have their tiny nitpicks and go, the whole run is bad because of this. It's like, okay.
You give them a reason, right? And then that reason's not good enough. And then it becomes, well, it's the book's fault.
Yeah.
I wish you'd keep that energy when Kitty Pryde says the N-bomb.
Exactly.
Is there sound coming through my mic? My green circle keeps lighting up.
We can take the
Your
subway
cuteness.
tunnels to the hospital.
What
There's
the
a
fuck,
good
Alex?
Station not far from here.
Good thinking.
Oh boy.
It's funny because like that's a really good example of heroism, where it's just like I wasn't really right. My partner did abuse me, and they did hurt me, right? But that doesn't mean I'm not without fault too. I chose to be there.
Weapons here.
Yeah.
That's something.
I mean, you
that
are
says
asking
something.
people though to like.
Time to start some fires.
I don't know. It's like some people they just.
Think beyond themselves. Yeah, because like that was when he had a really big problem with. He was like, I don't think I hang out with my abuser. It's just like, you know what? Like, fair enough. But there's situations like this where people do get better and they manage to figure things out with each other. It's not as simple as like this person did something bad, now I can write them off.
Yeah.
And then he started to see. He even agreed with me. I was like, you see how it's kind of like unfair for the character when he earns redemption, and then somebody takes it, and then like somebody on Twitter just reminds everybody about what happened. Like I could see Marvel making a headline: Hank Pym returns, right?
The wife beater has come back, and he's not beating wives anymore.
And he's not.
Yeah, then they're gonna be.
That's like his occupation is beating wives. Not even his wife, just wives.
Yeah, he just goes out. He's like, "Where's a wife for me to beat?" Ho ho ho!
People just hire him to do domestic abuse for him. Like fucking
Look,
Ed,
I'm too pussy to beat my own wife. Hey, can you do it for me? Absolutely.
Just fucking Ed in The Walking Dead being like, can you beat Carol for me?
Exactly. Oh my god. This is like.
But it's like when we give examples of stuff like that, where it's just like he's apologized, and we've even gone over the fact that it is his personality, but yet he's still at fault. However, he's done things to make amends. He's apologized. He's moved forward. Janet even said, "You need to move forward for you." Right? This is about how you figure it out.
Yeah.
But, you know, people that are like, I don't really care how he figured it out because he still did it. And it's just like, okay, but what about Spider-Man? He was angry, so you have to excuse him.
Yeah. It's like, we can give excuses to other characters, but not the one that did it.
We can give excuses to other characters because it's commonly okay. But when we talk about Jim Shooter's bad writing, we also have to remember, yeah, people hate the character Hank Pym because of this that Jim Shooter did. And it's just like, yes. But when it's Kitty Pryde, it's just like, that's Claremont's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we can blame Claremont for Kitty Pryde being dropping the N-bomb all the time. But, when it comes down to Hank, it's like, no, we can't have that.
This way, people.
What? Forgiveness? What's that? I only selectively forgive characters.
How can I forgive this character?
Like, okay, well then just don't talk about it. I shouldn't have a problem doing that. Hank Pym comes back and like 2 years later, they're gonna be like, you can't say that. Hank should have stayed dead. Hashtag keep Hank dead.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like that, though. Like, in my opinion, Hank needs to stay dead. The shit they did with, like, the death of Superman, bringing back Superman is, like,
I feel like he should stay dead in the event that they don't have anything else for him to do. Like, have something for him to do.
Yeah, it's like... I don't know how I feel complicated with certain characters. Like, I feel like a lot of characters that die in a comic book need to stay dead. If you're gonna kill them, they need to stay killed.
Most of them. I remember when Joe Quesada took over Marvel, one of his mandates were like, death is dead. If you're dead, you're staying dead.
Yeah.
Nah, Lamau.
And then, for the long, and
Everyone
then
inside!
like 2 years after he said that, Hawkeye comes back.
Will you, Lewis? Get in the safe room.
Jockey!
This is just like Counter-Strike.
Hawkeye
Yeah.
comes back.
Did you know that, Vlad? Lewis will reference Counter-Strike.
Oh wow.
Hawkeye comes back like right after Quesada said that. He died in 04, came back a year later.
Of course. And it's like, I mean, I know, like, it's like, Jan's come back from the dead, like, several
Honestly,
times.
I was okay with, yeah. Honestly, I was okay with Hawkeye being dead, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, because we all know that Kate Bishop is the superior Hawk person.
I don't like when they say that, but that was something I was okay with.
Yeah.
I was okay with Hawkeye being dead, but I didn't necessarily like it. I was like, yep, I can accept it. But then, you know, when you're reading it with hindsight, it gets really in the weeds about it, and then you're a little annoyed that came back. You're like, what? Somebody took your place.
Yeah.
Brother, you're late. And then Clint was like, "Oh, I got nothing to do. I'll go have sex with Wanda in Latveria." Turns out it wasn't Wanda. He had sex with a Doombot that looked like Wanda.
Which is pretty funny. Like, objectively, that's hilarious.
I think I remember my dad having that comic when I was a little kid, and I was a stupid little kid that didn't understand comics, and I just picked up this comic and I went, what is happening?
Hawkeye dying, and then it's just like, yeah, I'm back. A year later.
How did they even bring his ass back?
So what happened was, Clint. Well, first of all, let me reestablish something. Bendis had the same mentality Morrison did with the Justice League. Mark Miller and
This should last until we're safe.
Brian Michael Bendis were arguing with Marvel Editorial at one of their summits about why their headliners should be Avengers. And it was just like, they were like, well, why can't Spider-Man be an Avenger? And they were like, well, Spider-Man can't be an Avenger because he's a loner in X, Y, and Z.
Weapons hidden.
And you can't
What
be a
about
writer
Wolverine?
because you haven't read Spider-Man.
What about Wolverine? No, Wolverine's with the X-Men. Okay, but they're like our two biggest movie makers, right? Like, people know they're familiar. You want the Avengers book to be on top, put them in. And then they were like, you know what, you're right, so they put them in. But in order to do this, Bendis wanted to end what was the Avengers as it was. He wanted it to be smaller scale, because at the time the Avengers were like ambassadors to the superhuman community.
Yeah.
Right? They were pretty much what the Justice League was, where it's just like, if anything superhuman happens, it's up to us to figure it out.
I'm reloading.
So
Yeah. Oh, fuck me.
what happens is that Bendis tries to like make it a little bit more personal, grounds it a lot more. And first thing that goes is Avengers that Bendis deems as what unsellables.
Yeah.
First one to go, the Vision. The
Which is
Vision
kind of
died.
surprising, not gonna lie.
Well, Jack of Hearts was killed, but that was in Jeff Johns' book.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
No, actually, the first one to die is Scott Lang. Ant-Man's the first one to go.
Yeah, and it's not Hank. No, it's Scott Lang.
Scott dies.
And then they gave him a movie.
Scott dies, and the way that he returns is time chicanery.
Yeah.
So he didn't die. He was just like, well, they prevented his death, or they teleported him to the future, but they made it seem like he died. Weird. Weird. Right? Second person to go. The Vision. He crashes a Quinjet into the fucking mansion. Third person to die. Right? Was, well, didn't die but She-Hulk was kind of like booted off the team because she lost control and became a savage She-Hulk and ripped the Vision in half.
Poor robot.
Janet was on the verge of death, and then Hank and Iron Man got into a fight because Tony was kind of like the Secretary of Defense at the time too. Lost his job over this event. And then he became like not as rich anymore. Right.
Which is
And
kind of fair
the
because
last
he did
person-
steal all of Janet's money. You know, back in
The
Heroes
last
Reborn.
The last person who dies is Hawkeye,
Yep.
and they actually make a joke of his death
Finn's here.
periodically throughout Marvel Comics. There's a Kree warship, and Hawkeye's quiver was on fire, and it was about to blow up. Hawkeye grabs onto a Kree soldier with like a jetpack, and then he flies up at the Kree warship, and he keeps yelling, "Not like this, not like this."
Oh yeah.
And then he dies. Well, fast forward to 2005. Right? Mind you, the Avengers weren't gone for very long. Right? Even though the book likes to make it seem like, hey, it's been like a year. No, they were gone for like a while. In our time, they were gone for about like a month or two.
Wow, Francis, you killed that boomer when it was right next to me, you fucking dick.
So, the new Avengers.
Remember the rule, Vlad. The AI is smart until you're relying on the big smart.
There was like no zombies, and then the boomer shows up, and Francis is just like, you know what? You know what, Vlad? Get vomited on. Anyways.
So the new Avengers happens, and then we get to House of M.
Oh yeah.
Where Wanda gives everybody what they wanted. Don't know why Clint is alive, but apparently she wanted Clint to be alive. Hawkeye shoots her, says like, "Hey, you were my friend. Why did you kill me?" And then she's just like, "Don't know, but I'm gonna disintegrate you again." Well, turns out at the end of the book, Clint came back.
Of course.
And then everybody's like, Hawkeye's alive. Oh my god, Clint's back. But wait, Young Avengers. We told Kate Bishop she could be Hawkeye. Shit. This is going to get really hairy. And Clint's just like, I don't even want to be Hawkeye.
Yeah. I want to go back to being Goliath. That was fun.
No, what he does is that he becomes Captain America for like an issue.
Captain America is Hawkeye. That's good.
Yeah. And then everybody is just like, you're a piece of shit. And then he's just like, yeah, this has been poor taste.
Oh, that is a tank. That is a tank.
And then he runs off, and hangs out with like.
Eat shit, Bill. Eat
like
shit,
that.
Bill. Get the fuck out of my way.
And he starts hanging out with the new Avengers as Ronin.
Oh my god. We made
Clint,
that.
that's how
Can you
Clint
believe it?
died and came back, and then they were like, yeah, he's gonna stay around too. And they've never killed him since.
Yeah. What I still don't understand is why they keep, like, half killing Janet, then bringing her back, and then just kind of, like... She's just been a punching bag. It is really weird.
Bendis, so Jim Shooter did it first. He killed her first. Which is odd.
Yeah.
It's really weird, right? She has to die. But whatever.
Yeah, Shooter did some really bad things with Janet's character.
Shooter doesn't know how to write women.
Guys, big, badass, nasty weapons over here.
Shooter's bad at it.
Shooter's just a bad writer. Can we all agree on that?
I like his Secret Wars, but his Avengers
Reloading.
stuff is really weird. And it's just really, really just a huge kick in the pants.
Yeah.
Jim Shooter's rough.
How they write?
And then Bendis kills her in Secret Invasion. It was the second time she's died.
Yeah.
But but then Bendis retcons she wasn't dead, she was in the microverse, and then it became Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yep.
With the Avengers. Where they were like, hey, we got an Avengers ID card going off in the microverse. Care to explain, Hank? Yeah, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna find whoever's in there. Turns out it's Janet. They really were bad about burying the lead on that. Everybody who looked at her in the previews is just like, that is so Janet.
Yeah.
And she was dead for just a little bit. She died in 2008. Came back in 2010.
Yep.
No, she died in 2008. Came back in 2012.
Yeah, it's 2012. There's like a 4-year gap. Like, that was the longest she's, like, been dead for.
Yeah.
And, like, most of the time it's, like, for a year or two.
Hank died in 2015. And then is still dead today. They killed him more now.
Yeah.
So he died in 2015, but he really died in 2022.
Yeah, with his anniversary book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, Ant-Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing this for about a little over 3 hours, so I think we're gonna call it here.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. Don't know if we're gonna do this again, but just expect to see these, every once in a while. Yeah. Well, guys, have a good day.
All right.
Later,
bye.
players.
See you later, gamers.